It is May 5th, 2023. The Reading Rebels are back at Alvernia University to take on the Alma. The Rebels and the Alma here tonight. The Rebels 13-3 on the year. The Alma, you see it right there, 1-12 on the season. So Rebels winners of 12 of their last 13 games. They look to improve upon that tonight and take advantage of a clearly weaker opponent. Let's get you the starting five this evening. Akil Carr and Taraji Brake, the backcourt duo. The forward spots, Emmanuel Buddha and Richard McCallop, who has returned from a two-game absence with a foot injury. And at the center position, Maurice Henry will round out the starting five. With that being said, we'd like to welcome you into the broadcast booth tonight. Max Kretzula and Nate Govan on the call yet again, and it's a big one here tonight. Obviously, a weaker opponent in the Alma coming into this building tonight. The Reading Rebels, winners of 12 of their last 13, like we just mentioned. Yep. What do the Rebels have to do to not be stagnant tonight and clearly walk out of here with a victory against a weaker team?
So come out early, hit them hard, hit them often, and do not take your foot off the gas pedal. Keep pushing, keep pushing. The Rebels have a tendency to really come on in strong in the second half. There's nothing wrong with that, but let's play 4 quarters of complete basketball and make it look good too.
Richard McCallop coming off a two-game absence, clearly the leader and one of the captains of this basketball team. What do you expect from him coming off obviously a week of laying down and not really doing too much, resting that foot? Expectations for him tonight?
So I want Rich to just go out there and kind of just temper and pace himself. You know, get your sea legs back underneath of you. There's no need to rush anything. We need this guy for the playoffs. But I expect him to get his shots up, but take it easy at the same time, too.
With that being said, we'll send it down to Julian Winters, who's standing by with the guy we just mentioned, Richard McCallum.
Thank you, Max. Here with me, we have Rich McCollum of the Reading Rebels. Rich, unfortunately, you were signed out the last couple of games due to an ankle.
The ankle's better, a lot better than what it was 2 weeks ago, for sure. Feeling confident. First time practicing last night, got some good movement, didn't really have too much pain, just more stiffness, soreness, so I'm pretty decent for today.
Yeah, and your brother Miles Lewis stepped up in the starting five for you and just played amazing. Tell me about how did it just feel watching him just ball out for you in place?
As a team in general, I like how they competed, how they, stay focused, stay detailed, and play hard. So, with me being out is we got, like Coach said, we got like a whole team that can all play. So, like, one person go down, the next person fill in, just fall suit like that. So,
and as you was watching the team play and you was on the bench the last 2 games, like, what did you see personally that I can help them say, listen, I saw some X's and O's that maybe we can help incorporate into our game?
It's pretty much the same thing every game. It's ball movement, probably a little bit better defense, like little stuff here and there that we always, we've been doing the whole year. So we just kind of obviously, we lost a little bit of rebounding with me being out, whatever, and a little bit of scoring. But, like I said, we have a lot of people that can play, so we kind of made up for it. But, sitting back and watching, I kind of seen a few things, but I went to the players and told them, individual, hey, this is that. So
keep it a secret because we're ready to see what's about to happen, man.
100%, man.
No, bro, good luck, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Earlier this season. So when I ask you this question about not only Richard McCallum but the other guys on this team, who do the Rebels need to focus on when it comes to the Alma, a couple of their leading scorers?
Well, the big one here is Gums Frater. He's scoring 29.4 points per game. So they've got 2 other guys, too, who score in the high or low 20s, So just got to make sure that we don't let anybody catch on fire, play our defense, play our game. We'll bring home the W, Max.
No question about it. Friday night hoops in Reading. It's the Alma and the Reading Rebels next.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to Members First in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, Members
We
First.
put our members first.
Welcome in, everyone. Reading Rebels basketball for TBL TV and B&B Media. My name is Max Kretzula alongside Nate Govan. Rebels go for their 13th out of 14th tonight. And, Nate, I tell you what, when you talk about a team that you're clearly better than when it comes to pretty much every facet of the game. This is one of those battles where you think to yourself, okay, just get the job done and get out of here with a victory, no injuries.
Most definitely, Max. This one should be a no-brainer. However, you don't want to overlook or overstep. Take these guys seriously. They are professionals just like we are, but let's go do our thing.
Well, right off the bat, you see Mark Fortin getting positioning and banking home, too. First bucket of the game to the Alma. And Fortin's going to be an issue underneath. Him and Maurice Henry will do battle tonight. Let's get you tonight's starters for the Alma as Buddha looks to get this crowd on their feet early on. An alley-oop pass from Akil Carr and a put down from Buddha.
Right away, right away, right away. That's what we got to do. Get out on top. Don't let up.
Lands in a Wosu, number 7, will start, as does number 10, Tyrell Frater. Rayon Caprin, number 11, Daniel Gonzalez, number 12, and number 34. We mentioned early on Mark Fortin as we have a whistle and a foul. It's going to go against number 1, Richard McCallop. He's back in the starting lineup after a 2-game absence, so it's one of the questions we talked about in the opening of this game. How's the foot going to hold up? I know he's worked at it throughout this week in practice. He's ready to rock and roll. Not coming off the bench tonight. Another question that we thought, hey, maybe Miles Lewis continue to hit his stride as the season's gone on. Maybe he would stay in the starting lineup. But Coach Linderman obviously has faith in his captain, and Richard McCallop back in the starting lineup.
Well, you know, he's got to give Rich a chance to go out there and have some self-control, show what he can do. But I'm sure Coach will be monitoring his minutes this evening.
Wosu buries a couple of free throws. And, again, this Alma team, they're scrappy. Record does not show the amount of talent that they have. With the playoffs right around the corner, every victory is important. And the Rebels currently sit 3rd in the standings, right behind the Gambits and the Patroons, 2 teams they will see again this year. 4 on the shot clock. Floater from Buddha rattles out no. Offensive rebound, tipped it out of bounds. It'll go back to the Alma.
Well, and that's a great job by Buddha to continue to follow a shot, get in position for that offensive rebound. Just couldn't corral it all the way.
Gonzalez backing down Buddha. Dribble handoff to Fortin in the short corner. 10 to shoot. Fortin push shot, no. Offensive rebound to Capron. His follow-up jumper, no. And the third opportunity is good from Gonzalez. So Fortin, no. Capron, no. Gonzalez, yes. And the Alma have a 4-point lead.
Well, that's a good offensive rebound by Gonzalez. You know, he's working the post and, you know, trying to put pressure on the Rebels.
Carr drives into the painted area. There's a whistle and a foul. It's going to be called on the floor, however. Foul's going to go against number 12, Daniel Gonzalez. That's his first personal. And Akil Carr was in the act of shooting, so he will head to the free throw line for 2.
And we continue to monitor free throws for the Rebels as the season goes on. You know, we had a better outing last week against the Virginia Valley Vipers. So hopefully we continue to get well, Max.
Carr good on the first. He comes in, shoots it at 76% from the line on the season.
And that's the guy you want on the line shooting.
So Carr good from the free throw line that time. Wosu back with it. High post feed to Fortin. He's not hesitant. That one's left short. Ball tipped, batted around. Wosu comes up with it. Wosu the crossover. Puts the ball on the floor. Henry dives for it. It's out of bounds. It'll stay with the Alma, but you got to love the hustle as Big Mo Henry does some push-ups on the way to his feet.
Well, you know, you love to see your big man get after it that way, get on the floor. He's not scared to get his elbows scraped up a little bit, and that just shows what kind of character the team has, Max.
So Wosu to inbound on the near sideline. Somebody has to fire. It's Capron, and that one's a little too strong. Offensive board to Gonzalez. Fortin works it around the perimeter. Frater now loses the handle. Nice strip from Carr, and he's back with it the other way. Up ahead, it's Break. Drives, sidestep, layup, no good. Ball's loose. It's out of bounds. It'll go to the Alma. Got to love the push there from the Rebels, and those buckets, we've seen them fall this season. Early stages, obviously, of this first quarter. And now a little bit of pressure being applied.
Well, that's what you want to see. Apply the pressure early and often. And, Max, one other thing. I like these gray uniforms. What do you think about that?
First time we've seen them this year. I do like them a lot. Break, swings it to Buddha. Buddha with 6 to shoot. Now McCallum. McCallum, a couple of pivots. Now 2 to fire, lobbing it inside. It's Henry, and I don't think he got it off in time. Shot clock violation, and it's a Reading Rebels turnover.
Well, I like the idea of what the Rebels were trying to do on that one, trying to get it into King Henry down there. Just a little bit late getting him that entry pass. We'll clean that up as the game continues to press forward. Good hands.
Horton fed inside, slipped through a couple of defenders, and lays home 2. Carr not hesitant from 3-point range, and that one is buried. Akil Carr, a 3.
Big time shot by Carr.
Tough shot there from Frater. Back iron and out. Tip in is good from Capron. A whistle away from the ball. It's going to be a loose ball foul as Carr was bumped on the baseline.
Who's it on, though?
Referee still in discussion as both teams head towards their bench. Foul's going to go against Rayon Capron, number 11 for the Alma. That's his first personal, and McCallum will inbound on the far sideline. So the Alma come in 48th out of 53 teams in the TBL in scoring, but they have a 3-point advantage early on as Carr faked the pass, gets swatted away at the rim. Buddha, another offensive rebound, and look out! Oh, put him on a poster! Emmanuel Buddha still hanging on the rim.
Well, and that's what happens, Max. You fall asleep at the wheel like that, Buddha's going to channel his inner Sean Kemp and put you on a poster every single time.
You know, you would think majority of these opponents around the TBL would learn their lesson at this point to get out of Buddha's way when he's got a full head of steam like that. But Wosu, the guilty party on that one.
Yeah, you got to get off the tracks when you see the train coming. Bottom line. Well, that'll be a good highlight this week. You'll see that on Twitter. You'll see that on Instagram. Good job, Buddha. Keep it up.
Buddha earns himself one more at the free throw line. And not to be a negative type here, but Buddha shoots it at 52% from the season on the line.
Well, you know, we're looking forward and upward. So I wish they'd get him the ball so he can shoot the rock. I don't know what the holdup is.
So Wosu picks up the personal foul. That's his first. So Gonzalez, Capron, and Wosu all with one personal foul each as Buddha rattles out on the free throw. Fortin in the rebound. Frater pushes quickly into the painted area. Drives, kicks, Gonzalez underneath. Now Fortin, he misses the layup. Ball still loose. Frater comes out with it. It's a mid-range two from Fortin. That one's off the mark as well. And Buddha gathers the miss.
Hey, that's a good D by the Rebels there. They got a couple shots at the basket, but we still denied them. Now let's get into our offensive set and execute it.
Buddha, the dribble drive, the kick to break. Break stops and pops, and that two-pointer is in and out. Frater to the rebound. Excuse me, that was Capper. Now Frater pushes ahead. Fortin to the corner. It's Wosu. Triple, yes.
Well, that's a good shot by
Wosu.
That's a real good shot by him. Good ball movement. Can't really argue with that one. Let's come back and answer it.
The Alma by 4, 7:15 and counting in the first quarter. Break, the hesitation dribble. Back up top, it's Buddha. He fires away, and he's got a three.
Bang, bang. Well, Max, both teams are playing pretty good here in this first quarter. We got a tight score.
Frater fouled, plus the N1 opportunity upcoming as that basket goes. So Buddha answers the Wosu three with one of his own, and now free throw opportunities upcoming for the Alma.
Well, and Frater is just, he's a solid player for the Alma, averaging 29.4 points a game. He's definitely going to go out there and get his. So we just got to try to not let him go crazy and keep everybody else in check as well.
So Frater good on the free throw. Alma by 4. Carr in the corner. He wants another one, and he's got it. Akil Carr from downtown.
There we go.
Rebels and Alma trade triples. Frater wanted it in on the party. Couldn't do so that time. And now Carr with it back the other way. Carr turns it over. 3-on-2 developing back the other way. It's Frater, the lefty, the sidestep, and the bucket.
Okay, well, a little bit of back and forth, back and forth. Let's see him slow it down here.
Break off a couple of screens, splits the defenders, and bangs in 2.
And that's just great ball handling by Taraji Break on that one. Like you said, Matt, splitting 2 defenders and still having enough finesse to finish at the hoop.
Well, the Rebels come in the bottom third of the league in three-point percentage, making only 8.3 per game. But they're hot to start this one.
We are, and that might be slightly a misleading stat because we're always dunking on everybody, so we don't shoot a whole lot of threes.
Can't argue with that. As
Here it
Buddha
is.
at that time. I tell you what, Nate, how about that?
Well, sometimes you speak things into existence, Max, and Buddha must have heard me. He had to hear me.
Let's see if we can do that a couple more times tonight.
We're getting good at it.
Kaepernick drives
Foul.
right into McCallum, and he's fouled.
Foul. So was he fouled after the travel? Well, I hope he's all right. down
Kaepernick, yeah, slow to get up, but
Yeah.
we shall see. I think McCallum wanted to jump ball, didn't get it. We have a timeout on the floor. 5:08 to play. Rebels by 1, 19-18. We'll step aside. Be right back.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Caron, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
thought living on itself would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
Back out of a timeout, Capron, slow to get up, was looked at by the head athletic trainer of the Alma and walked slowly to the bench.
Well, we hope he's all right and he's able to come back and participate. And, we'll get it together. And I think that's Tom Franek over there working on him. Franek's one of the good guys So I'm sure he'll give him the best attention that he can possibly get.
Ruben Liebert, number 2, checks in. I think Coach Linderman gets to choose who will shoot the free throws for the Alma as Capron now out of the ball game.
Still getting some things together down there, apparently. Discussion.
Something that could have been sorted out during the timeout.
Well, you know, man, it's Friday, Max. We made it. I'm sure these refs have had a long week, just like everybody. So we'll give them a mulligan on this one.
Okay. Little breakfast ball. Okay, I like it.
Oh, man.
So what are you doing after this game? Any plans tonight with the family? Or
No, I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat some grub. I put some chicken on a smoker prior to coming to the game. So, you know, I had some chicken on there for about 3 hours going low and slow. So I'll eat, and then my kid has an AAU basketball game in the morning in Allentown. So go watch my son hoop.
I'll tell you what, good luck with that. Hopefully he gets a dub tomorrow. Free throw from Capron. Off the mark as he was on the athletic trainer's table, now on the free throw line, just like that.
How about that, man?
So Liebert does not check into the ball game. Instead, Capron fires away on the second, misses a pair, ball out of bounds. It'll go to the Rebels. Here comes that substitution. Capron now checks out of the ball game, still with a limp and that left knee wrapped up.
Yeah.
Liebert into the ball game, and you got to watch out for Liebert. He loves to shoot it from beyond the arc.
Yeah, he's shooting 40% from three-point downtown, so one of the better shooters in the league.
Break up top to Buda. We saw him make 1 3 already. This time he'll drive and kick. It's tipped away momentarily and recovered. Anthony Lee has just checked into the ball game, driving in with the left hand, gets the finish. Anthony Lee, pretty shot.
Nice finish by Lee. Fearless. Great body control going to the hoop.
Frater, left-handed drive. Can't get the finish, but Fortin on cleanup duty is there.
Well, Fortin's a big guy, man. You know, so we got to make sure we get a body on him, box him out, because we can't keep giving them second chance opportunities.
Break, the right-handed drive, plus the foul.
And Taraji Break just has the ability to put the ball on the ground, create his own shot, and get to the hole. So, you know, the Alma are going to have a long night ahead of them trying to contain this guy in a kill car.
Break, an 81% free throw shooter on the year, gets that free throw to drop. And now a little bit of half-court pressure being applied as that ball was up in no man's land momentarily. Instead, Wosu drives and kicks. There's Liebert, but he stepped on the sideline. It's an Alma turnover.
Nice. We'll take it.
.413 to go in the first quarter. Rebels by 4. Slow start early on, as we've seen multiple times this year. But so far, Coach Linderman, out of these timeouts, is able to whip them back into shape as Lee finishes at the rim.
You know, Lee moving without the ball, working off the screen, putting himself in position for an easy bucket.
Wosu aggressively to the rim, picks up his dribble, fires away, off the back iron and out. Lee, the rebound, and now it's Carr.
Carr splitting the defenders.
Carr drives in, scoop layup is good.
Easy peasy for Carr. Again, another terrific ball handler for the Rebels that can split the defenders, get to the hoop, and finish with ease.
Rebels by 8 all of a sudden, 3:36 to play in the first. We'll take another timeout and be right back.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to Members First. In 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, Members
We
First.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Karen, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years. With the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Karen, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
Back here out of a timeout. Alma have possession of the basketball. It'll be Gonzalez inbounding in front of his bench, and Frater at the helm on the offensive end. There's a whistle and a foul. Buddha frustrated at that call. Thought he got ball before body.
Well,
As he goes over to negotiate with the referee.
He wanted to get in there, and I like the effort to deny the entry pass into the high post. But, we just got to make sure we get in there clean and try to avoid the foul. But you got to respect the hustle. You don't ever want to discourage that.
So shot clock will be reset to 16. And Liebert will inbound on the far sideline. Frater up high, one-on-one with Break. Looking for a high screen, he gets it. Stops, step back, triple. That one misses everything and out of bounds. A little stagnant offense on that possession from the Alma.
Yeah, and, he had nice handles at the top, but that's what you call a $1 million move with a 50-cent finish.
I learn something new every day up in this broadcast booth.
Well, Max just trying to drop a little bit of knowledge and spit some game up here. It's for the folks. For the
Oh, no, we all appreciate it. Lewis, the left-handed drive, and the finish off the window.
Anxious to see what Miles Lewis contributes today. Last time when these two teams played, he had 26 points in 27 minutes of play.
Fortin fed underneath. Here comes a double. The kick. Liebert from beyond the arc. That one's off the front of the rim and out. Up ahead, it's Buddha. Gets behind the D. Spin. Went for the flush, but he misses it. Ball out of bounds. I think it's off the foot of Break. It is. And out of bounds. Ball back to the Alma.
Well, good energy, good hustle by Buddha on that one, but just laid off the glass, big fella. He didn't really need to dunk it on that one. I wouldn't have been mad. But nobody would have been mad if it would have went in. But since it didn't go in, you can say, oh, throw it off the glass.
Substitution number 1, Rupert and Gomi into the ball game. He checks in for the first time for the Alma, as does number 9, Mason Cumming. Cumming's got the ball in his hands. Can't miss him with those yellow neon shoes out there. Frater, the drive, the floater, that's left out. No, Lee puts the ball on the floor and he's trapped. Luckily, Carr's free, and he stops. He fires, and he buries a triple. Akil Carr from beyond the arc.
Nice shot with the big man in his face.
Wosu puts on the brakes to the corner. Egnome thought about a three, instead he travels with it. Substitution. Rayon Capron back into the ball game. So after the injury scare with that left knee, only stayed on the bench for 4 minutes, but he's back in for Wosu. He'll get his first breather of the game, and the Rebels are back with it on the offensive end. Rebels by 13 all of a sudden. That ball is loose, out of bounds. It'll stay with Reading. We're under 2 minutes of game action left in the first quarter.
And what I like to see here, Max, is, like you said, under 2 minutes, and we're starting to pull away. This is what I mean. Keep the foot on the gas. We're up by 13. We should extend this lead by at least another good 6 points before quarter's over.
Anthony Lee with a little bit of ISO ball and a pretty finish.
And what do you do with that? If you can't stop him one-on-one, they got to try to get him some help. But too late on that. Anthony Lee does what he does and gets to the hoop.
Anthony Lee has really come into his own this season, a guy who, if you watch last year, strictly a three-point threat, but now started to develop that offensive game a little bit. Not only finishing at the rim, but able to clear out some space and get a little ISO ball going. Frater now with it up high. Through two defenders. Left-handed shot up and in. So Frater finally, after a couple of misfires, gets one to go. Lee could have gotten away with a push-off there.
I was going to say that, Max. He definitely pushed off.
We're not playing football, but maybe a little offensive pass interference, so to speak. Nonetheless, ball will be inbounded. Lee will be at the free throw line with the Alma over the limit here, late stages of the first quarter. Lee good on the first free throw. Comes in a 78% free throw shooter on the year as Gonzalez checks back into the ball game. And Gomez to the bench. Buda and Break, a couple of starters, head out. James Butler and Miles Lewis are in.
We also get Mo Henry in there.
Mo Henry checks back. And Anthony Lee is 2 of 2 from the line that time. Frater stops and fires and connects.
It's a good shot by him.
Lewis lost the handle. It's a Rebels turnover.
Yeah, it looks like he just slipped over there and lost the handle.
Rebels playing free here tonight, you can tell, especially on offense with 38 points in the first quarter alone so far. Frater dishing underneath to Fortin. Fortin pivots and kicks. Cumming drives in with the right hand. Now he dishes to the corner. It's an open three for Fortin, and that one's left short. Fortin now underneath to Gonzalez. Oh, the hook shot off the glass and out. An offensive board, however. Second chance opportunity is good.
Well, Gonzalez is just a workhorse down there. He did his best Luau Cinder rendition with the hook shot. Missed it, got his own offensive board, and put it back up.
Carr off the high screen from Henry's bumped and fouled. So Carr will head back to the free throw line, looking to extend this Reading lead. It'll be 2 at the stripe for Carr, who's 2 of 2 from the line so far tonight.
Well, and as this quarter comes to a close, you know, I'm sure Coach Linderman is just going to tell them, hey, guys, put it on cruise control. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, tighten up on some things. We haven't had a whole lot of turnovers by the Rebels today so far. We've had a couple of, I guess, slower rotations where the Alma have been able to get off some three-point shots, but we'll tighten up a little bit on that. Everything else is going pretty well.
That's the one thing about Carr, only comes in averaging 3.3 turnovers a game, and pretty impressive for the amount of time that he has the ball in his hands as a playmaker.
Well, that just speaks to his level of maturity and his floor and court vision, you know, knowing where his guys are going to be and putting the ball where it needs to be.
5-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. As Frater back dribbles and kicks. Fortin, he'll try again, and this time it's same result, off the front of the rim. Still 6 seconds to work with as Butler gets ahead of the defense. Drives in, loses the handle, 2 seconds, ball out of bounds, 1.8 to work with for the Alma.
Butler looked like he wanted to rise up on that one.
Capron, inbound. Frater with 1.8. That's a long 1.8, and that one rattles out.
Almost. That was close.
At the end of one, the Rebels 40, the Alma 26. It's been a great start so far for Reading, and we'll see you for second quarter action.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to Members First. In 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, Members
We
First.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Karen, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to Members First in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, Members
We
First.
put our members first.
Rebels 40, Alma 26, second quarter of play. Just about ready to begin. And we want to take this time to let you know that Reading Rebels basketball is brought to you by iHeartRadio. Listen to Y102 this season. iHeart is the largest radio network in America. Get music, news, sports, and podcasts all on one platform.
Gotta love our sponsors, Max. Gotta love them.
Well, so far so good, right? So far so good. We got 40 points on the board. Can't complain about that. And as fans, broadcasters, whatever it may be, pretty much everybody minus players and coaches, you look ahead, right? You got the Syracuse Stallions nipping at your heels in 4th place. You got the Albany Patroons in 1st, and, of course, the Atlantic City Gambits, who we've played twice this year and lost both times to. So games like this, obviously you want to get the job done and get a victory. But at the same time, when you think about it, those other teams who are more of the powerhouses, you still want to take advantage of those opportunities when you can and knock off those top teams.
Yeah, you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and you also have to upset some of the teams that you are, I don't want to say not supposed
maybe
to
underdogs.
beat, but yeah, you know, you got to pull a couple out that you're maybe not supposed to win, and that's where winning close games really comes into play too. You know, when those games are close, not for nothing, Buddha caught the alley-oop in that one game where it was, you know.
Against the Stallions. Yeah, we remember that a couple weeks back.
Exactly. You got to win close games.
So Ronald Scott at the helm now on the offensive end with Carr and Brake both on the bench. Maurice Henry, the only starter in at the time for Reading, as Lee fires and leaves that one short from beyond the arc. It's a Frater rebound. Frater drives, goes between the legs, and Fortin didn't expect that pass. Lewis comes up with a loose ball. Here's Butler on the offensive end.
You know, what surprises me, Max, is with Fortin's size, he plays a lot of basketball at the perimeter and not inside. I'm surprised by that.
Butler going to be called for the offensive foul as he lowered the shoulder on Cumming, and the Rebels turn it over. Butler in a disagreement there with the referee as he jogs back on the defensive end.
There's not really much to argue on that one.
I feel like most people would agree with that. Gonzalez to inbound. He gets it into Frater. Alma stuck in quicksand offensively, only 26 points in the first quarter. But defense, you could argue, is more of the problem. Fortin going to work on Henry. Here comes the double. Fortin step through and finishes with the left.
That was a nice step through by Fortin. I'll give him that one. Real smooth, and that's where he needs to play ball, in the post. That floating around outside just perplexes me, but, you know, if he ain't scoring, I'm okay.
Tough pass to handle there for Butler. Rebels turn it over again, and Fortin looking for some help. Coming, cut off by Lee. Back up top, it's Fortin. He'll try yet again from downtown, and that one rattles in. So Mark Fortin has his first 3 of the game. He's 1 of 4 from beyond the arc.
And I guess that's why he's been floating around out there. He wants to be Dirk Nowitzki and knock down outside shots.
Lee left open yet again, tries to answer. This time it's too strong. Butler went for the tip in. Here comes Gonzalez back the other way. Now it's Fortin. Fortin, the dribble handoff. Frater stops, fires, leaves it short, but Gonzalez trying to put it back up and in.
Well, the Alma have been grabbing a lot of offensive rebounds. I will say that. That's the third second chance opportunity that I've recorded. And, you know, we just got to make sure we're boxing out the fundamental things. Nice.
Butler gets that bucket to drop. Foot was on the line, however, so it'll be a 2-point basket. Richard McCallum set to check in at the next stoppage, coming off a screen. Now underneath to Fortin. Again, cross-court pass. Frater not hesitant. That one almost banked in. Butler, great offensive rebound momentarily, but at the end, it's Gonzalez underneath who's fouled. We'll have to see if that was in the act of shooting or passing. Referees still needing to decide that. Not in the act of shooting.
No.
So Liebert will inbound side out, and Richard McCall checks back into the ball game for James Butler.
And Henry picks up his first, which, you know, last game he got in foul trouble early and he had to come out. But I want to see him be able to stay in a little bit longer just to have his presence. He's a big difference maker in the post when teams try to go in there.
Well, on that note, the Alma turn it over. Rebels get possession back. Ronald Scott at the point guard position. Just combined two guys into one right there. And Scott, got a chance to talk to him last game. What are your key takeaways from what you heard from him?
Well, he's really a team player. And, you know, he really sees that when his team works together and they play unselfish, how much success that they can really have. And he's genuinely happy to be here and happy to be part of this team. And he goes out and he executes his role. He comes in off the bench, he spells the starters, and he doesn't turn the ball over. And that's what you want out of your backup point guard.
Very important for the reserves, of course, not turn the basketball over, make your free throws, do the little things, and Scott's done that all year. So credit him. Lee, an open three. That one off the side of the rim. Lewis skies for the rebound. Drives, back it up top. McCall will fire away, and that one's off the side of the rim yet again, but this time he's fouled from beyond the arc, so he'll get 3 free throws. As the Alma look to creep back into this ball game, they're within 9 now.
Well, it's good to see old Rich McCallum get out there and get in the mix. You know, the leadership that he brings to this team is just amazing, and we're a different club when he's out there on the floor. The chemistry is different, and it's a positive thing. So glad to have him back, and hopefully his injury continues to heal up pretty well.
McCallum, a 62% free throw shooter on the year, misses the first. Gonzalez picks up that personal foul for the Alma. That's his second. And McCall with one more at the stripe. Two more after he was fouled from downtown. He misses the second one. And Taraji break and a Keel card. A couple of starters will check back in. Ronald Scott in his 3 minutes of game action, very solid. And Anthony Lee, again, has had another solid game as well.
Well, that's what you want to be able to do. Go to your bench to give your starters a break and not have a serious drop-off, you know?
No question about it. McCall good on the third free throw, so 1 of 3 from the line. And you never want to use the same word twice about two players, but it is pretty simple. You know, 2 solid outings so far in the early stages of this ball game for Scott and Anthony Lee off the bench as that shot's missed. Cross-court pass to McCallum. Break on the drive. Ball up off the wall and out of bounds. Wow, that one was like one of those hot dog shooters that you see at the Phillies game up into the rafters.
That was high off the wall. You don't see that too often. And Max, I was going to say earlier, you know, Coach Linderman says it all the time. His guys, his reserves can start on pretty much any other team in the TBL. And it's just great to have such talent coming off the bench to keep the show rolling.
Coach Linderman mentioned it prior in previous meetings with him, of course, talked about these guys obviously wanting a new contract, wanting to play overseas and things like that. So all these guys out here are trying to make a statement, turn some heads, and so far the Reading Rebels, the record speaks for itself.
Well, they have something to play for, and you know, in addition to just their good name, their heart, and, you know, they're ballers, man. These guys have been doing this since they were probably 5, 6, 7 years old. You know, ball is life for these guys right now, and love to see how hard they work to continue to chase their dreams.
Buddha checks in for Henry as Capron misfires on a pair. However, an offensive rebound for the Alma.
Travis.
And they reset. Frater off the screen. Scoop layup. No good. Tip back from Fortin is, however.
So that's another offensive rebound for Fortin. We got to box him out.
Rebels go 5 wide on the offensive end. Look to spread the floor. It's Carr. Backdoor attempt there for McCallum. Ball is turned over. Carr and McCallum not connected on that play. Cutting down the lane is Capron, and he finishes at the rim. Coach Linderman doesn't like what he sees for good reason, and he'll call a timeout. 43-38, Nate. Obviously, the Alma crawling back in it.
That's a good timeout by Coach Linderman. You don't want to give these guys any shot to try to come back. Let's get it together.
Well, Rebels will take a timeout. We will as well. 7:43 to play in the second quarter.
Guys, we got to box out. I mean, especially on a foul shot. We cannot give up offensive rebounds.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first. In 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Caron, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first. In 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
Well, you heard it in that timeout. Coach Linderman preaching about the boxing out, the offensive rebounds for the Alma. Obviously a problem, of course, as they have battled back to within 5. Break. Turns the basketball over. Capron with a head of steam, galloping, and can't finish. That was dangerous as Capron already injured his knee earlier in the game, still down on the other end. Carr firing away, misfires on a 3. But the attention now turns to Capron as he got his legs caught up underneath of him as he missed the dunk.
Yeah, I hope he's all right down there. I mean, that's the second time he's going down tonight. And, you know, he took his time when he gathered to go up for that dunk, but it just didn't look right. And he ultimately got hung up there and just came down with his legs underneath of him. So,
Well, we'll take a minute here to check on Capron. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll step aside and be right back and check on him after this.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first. In 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Caron, real about recovery.
Capron being worked on by the athletic trainer yet again. It's that same left knee that gave him problems earlier on in that first quarter. So have to keep an eye on him. And you see it right there getting worked on the trainer's seat or training. What do you call that?
Table.
Table?
There you go.
We'll go to table. We'll go to table. Probably the easiest thing to say, right? Buddha getting worked on underneath by Fortin. It's tipped and out of bounds. Almost. And now Fortin back up top as I try to gather myself. Coming to Frater. Firing away. Leaves it short. I don't think there's any deflection there. Nonetheless, it's Carr back with it the other way. Dishing to Buddha. He's fouled on the way up. And still concerned there with Capron. I think that's why I got all jumbled there. Obviously, when he went down in that first quarter, was on the floor for longer than I think we both expected, right? And obviously getting looked at still. And then that one was even a little bit more scary just in the fact that it looked a little unorthodox, I guess is what I'm trying to say with that dunk attempt.
Yeah. I mean, next time, young man, just lay the ball up. Don't get too cute out there. And I hope he's all right.
And this time he needed support from the trainer and one of the assistant coaches for the Alma just to get to that bench. As I will not talk about that missed free throw there from Buddha. We'll just say he missed it and not give any context.
No. That's a good call by you, Max. Great call by you.
So Buddha with one more at the free throw line. You know what? His dunks tonight make up for it. We'll say that.
They usually do. They usually do. The guy's just got a lot of energy. He's got straight hops. You got to remind me after the broadcast to ask this guy what his vertical is, because he really jumps out the gym.
Buddha misses a pair. And the Alma back with it the other way. Fortin working on Carr as he pesters him, but I think he stepped on the sideline, and he did, out of bounds. So great steal from Carr, but ball will remain with the Alma.
Well, and I was kind of in shock and awe. Fortin looked pretty good handling the rock on that one, Max. Now, of course, a guy like Carr is supposed to come up and pick his pockets like what happened, but he looked really good handling the ball. That's surprising.
Well, and you can see this all offense works throughout Fortin in the high post.
Yep.
Shot off the mark there. Lee back with it the other way, trying to work quickly. Underhand pass, and out of the corner it's Break with a baseline drive. Floater on its way, left short, no. And the rebound to Gonzalez. Samuel Deke, number 6, in the orange jersey, has checked in for the first time in this ball game. Frater gets his first breather of the game. Coming, firing away from the perimeter. That's off the back iron and out. Buddha, the one-handed rebound. And now it's Carr on the offensive end, dipping it underneath. Now into the corner, it's McCallum. Swing it back up top, Carr. Now back into the corner as they play catch. It's a McCallum 3, and that one's off the side of the rim.
Well, I like that they're moving the ball and trying to get an open shot. They're not just settling for any old thing. So that'll pay off in the fourth quarter. Nice steal.
Fortin turns the basketball over. Carr galloping, sidestepping, firing away at the rim, and that one's left short. Wosu gathers the miss. Wosu with no numbers still pushes, stops on a free throw line and looks for some help. He'll fire away, no hesitation. That one is an air ball. We've seen a couple of air balls here, but
man,
the ball's still loose. And I tell you what, Fortin, there he is yet again underneath. He's fouled, so he'll go to the free throw line. And again,
count the bucket.
Ball batted around, no one being aggressive and really capturing that defensive board. And that's the result right there, an offensive rebound and a bucket.
Well, and, I haven't been keeping track of them like I normally do, so shame on me. But that's at least 5 that I can just recollect from my own memory. And like you said, going into that first time out, Coach Linderman said, hey, man, we got to box out. We can't let these guys go in there and get offensive rebounds. But those second chance opportunities are the things. Now look, it's 41-43. We were just up by 10. 2 eye blinks to go. So.
Well, Reggie's over there smacking his head against the floor, so obviously he's not liking what he's seeing.
Yeah.
As the Alma, like you said, have battled back to within 2, and Break turns the basketball over. Wosu, a little too strong, banks it in, no, but a foul. So he'll go to the free throw line, and I tell you what, just like that, the Alma have an opportunity to tie this ball game up.
Well, and that's what happens. You know, we give up some second chance opportunities. The Alma convert. They go on a little run. They hit a shot here, hit a shot there, get a couple and ones, and now we could possibly be down in a few seconds. So,
Well, you mentioned the word run. The Alma currently on a 15-3 run, make it 16-3 as that free throw is good from Wosu.
well, and that just, the runs are going to happen, but we have to find a way to limit those runs. And 16-3, that's a big run.
Wosu, no good on the second, but nobody boxes out Fortin, and he banks that bucket in.
Yeah, so come on, fellas. We got to get a body on a body.
Wosu clapping his hands together aggressively, trying to wake his team up, and they are alive and well at the moment as they lead by 1, 4:48 and counting in the second quarter. Break off a high screen from Lewis. Lewis hits the deck, and there's a foul. Foul's going to go against number 7. That's Wosu. So he picks up his second personal foul, and Lewis will inbound side out.
Well, and I looked for a little bit more out of Wosu coming into this one, averaging 21.5 points a game, almost 4 assists, and almost 9 rebounds. He's kind of been quiet. He shot 2 air balls out of the 3 we've seen from the Alma.
Anthony Lee drives and dishes. Lewis, he doesn't stop moving, does he? It's a Lee 3, and that one's off the mark. Buddha skies for the rebound. He loses the handle. Right place, right time for Lewis, and that one's a little too strong. Wosu pushing quickly up ahead. The spin around the perimeter. Driving in with the left and finishing at the rim.
I guess Wosu must have just heard me talking junk. He said, Mr. Announcer, let me show you something. Nice play by him. Good hustle.
Break left open and buries the 3. The offensive outburst is finally stopped momentarily as that 3 ball from Break is good.
So let's get a momentum shift, momentum swing. Ooh, nice movement.
Deke, skip pass around the corner. That one's left short. Carr fouled.
Another air ball by the Alma. I mean, maybe it was a long trip down here and they just don't have their sea legs underneath of them. Usually when you're shooting air balls, it's because you're not getting enough lift on your jump shot.
Well, you know how it is going through New York. You know, there's not a lot to see, a lot of highway.
I mean, I guess.
You're not going to the city, right? You know how the food might not be amazing. You're on a bus the whole ride.
Yeah, they probably had like Taco Bell.
Yeah, you know, it happens. All right, 3:45 to play. 46 all in the second quarter.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to Members First in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, Members
We
First.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Caron, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
3:45 to go in the second quarter. Rebels all of a sudden are knotted at 46 all. It was an offensive outburst there throughout this second quarter, especially those middle stages of it.
Yeah. The YMCA song never gets old, man. The Village People.
tell you what, the Alma, to get back on track here, 20-6 run they are currently on, and it's going to be Akil Carr at the free throw line. Before we left you, he was bumped on the inbounds pass, and he will get back to the line. He'll shoot 2 as the Alma are, again, over the limit with 3:45 to play. Again, in the second quarter, Carr, first one on its way. Rattles out no. It's his first missed free throw of the game. So he's 4 or 5 currently. He comes in, again, shooting it at 77% on the year.
Well, and, being one of the better free throw shooters on the team, he's solid, he's consistent, and he gets to the line pretty often because he will attack the basket.
So Carr misses a pair. That's kind of how it's been here in the second quarter for the Rebels as the Alma turned the basketball over. Luckily, because Fortin was wide open there underneath the basket.
Yeah, he wasn't. He just had butterfingers on that one. Nwasu tried to give it up to him, little quick touch pass.
Break, firing away, and burying a 3. Wosu all day to fire. This one's left short. Fortin. Gonzalez with a traveling violation.
Well, and I know. Another offensive.
I know.
Yeah, Max.
Come on, I had to sing it. Break, the short corner. He's fouled on the wrist. So he gets 2, and it's a one-man wrecking crew right now for the Reading Rebels. Taraji Break has scored the last 6 points for Reading. He looks to make it 8 right here as he'll get 2 at the free throw line. Again, an 82% shooter from the stripe this season.
Yeah, and we need him to step up and knock these 2 down, get us back on track as far as these free throws are concerned, and then let's settle in on defense and get back to the basics of just boxing out, body on a body, and keeping Fortin off the glass. I mean, I know he's big, but come on, man.
It's almost like you got to get down there in the huddle and tell these guys that as Break 1 of 2 that time. So Carr comes off a missed pair of free throws. Break goes 1 of 2, something you don't expect from the starting backcourt duo.
And, it's easy for us to sit up here and say, hey, box out. I couldn't box that dude out even if I tried. But
Break drives in, dishes to Lewis, who didn't expect it. Carr trying to pickpocket Fortin. He's got the loose ball. Lob to Buddha underneath. He puts the ball on the floor, and there's a whistle, and a traveling violation is going to be called.
Wow. And I like the look by Akil to try to get it up, because if that happens, that's a momentum changer. That's a momentum shifter, and we might get some of that energy back.
Deke checks out. Capron back into the ball game. So Capron's got the left knee issue, and now he's got the bandage on that right forearm. So we'll keep an eye on him and see if he's moving at 100%.
Yeah,
as we have cleanup duty out there.
It's almost like we got to keep a couple Band-Aids on deck for this guy.
I can't really argue that from what I've seen so far. Rebels by 4. Rebels by 4 to get back on track again. I'm going to be doing this a lot tonight. Definitely going to be doing it a lot. Gonzalez inbounds. And now Frater. The Alma playing with a little bit more energy than what we've seen in that, or I should say what we saw in that first matchup. As Frater turns the ball over, they dribble it into the backcourt. And I tell you what, this is a thing where you look at it and pick your favorite team. Anybody listening, pick your favorite team. You think about your team battling back from a deficit, and turnovers like that just make you want to jump out a window. Don't actually do it, though. Don't actually do it. But.
Yeah, they do. It's something that makes you pull your hair or makes you get gray hair.
That's a better way to put it. Better way to put it. Pull your hair. Pull your hair. I like it. A little old-fashioned reference there. We have a whistle. Referees are going to meet. Carr clearly not liking what he's hearing. Still not liking it.
No, he's not a fan.
Clearly not liking it. Coach Linderman points to the deck.
Bullshit.
Oh, he's sorry about that language, but he's not happy. Clearly not happy.
No, I've seen him a lot happier, man.
I have as well, as Fortin gets past Buddha as he went for the steal to the corner. It's Wosu. He fires away, and that one's off the right line.
So, and not for nothing, we spent so much time arguing with the ref that we didn't get back and play D. And those are the mental lapses that you just don't want to have. Let's stay focused.
We are under 2 minutes of game action left in the second quarter. Carr stops, fires, and buries the deuce.
That was nasty, Max.
Frater, the crossover, galloping in. Push shot is good. Frater answers Carr as both teams trade buckets, and now a little bit of pressure being applied from the Alma as they back away.
Well, Frater's got that left-handed touch, so he drives right, shoots left, hard to defend.
Carr loses the handle, 2-on-1 developing. Wosu, acrobatic shot, no, but a foul as he hits the deck.
He gets his push-ups in too.
So Wosu back to the free throw line. He shoots it at 56% on the year, but we've seen so far, especially on this floor tonight, one of the leaders of this Alma team and probably the vocal leader in the locker room if I were to guess.
Mm-hmm.
First one good from Wosu.
Yeah, his body language out there is just assertive and general-like. You know, like he's out there leading the troops.
Wosu rattles out into the second. Could have been a push off, but it's not going to be called as Fortin gets an easy two underneath. So a 1-point possession turns into a 3-point possession, and the Alma lead by 2. Lee loses the handle. It's a kick ball. It'll stay with the Reading Rebels. I'll tell you what, Nate, I hope you didn't put any money down on this game.
No, I'm not much of a gambling man anymore. You know, once you start having kids and stuff, man, a penny saved is a penny earned.
I don't know what Lewis was looking at there, but it's a Rebels turnover.
Well, Max, I think all of us are surprised at how close this game is. But again, it's kind of our MO to pull away in the second half.
Frater, the drive, the spin, and the bucket plus the foul. That's why he averages 29 points per game from plays like that, and he'll head back to the line for one more.
Well, again, you know, he gets the defender going right, comes back with a crazy little spin move, but shoots it left-handed. So, you know, you're playing where his momentum was going. He's shooting it from the opposite side. This is really hard to defend.
Frater good on the free throw. Alma now by 5. Under a minute to play in the second quarter. Lee, the dribble drive, ball out of bounds. It'll stay with the Rebels. Still 15 seconds to work with on the shot clock.
So this lineup that we have in right now, it's a productive lineup, but, you know, Fortin is just really making a difference on the boards and scoring-wise, too. He's doing a little bit of everything.
Lee tried to split a couple of defenders, but another kickball violation will be called, and the Rebels will inbound side out. Lewis will have the honors. Gets it into Buddha up top, looks for some help. It's Carr. Carr with 9 to shoot. The crossover. The dish to Buddha. He gets into the painted area. Fall away, too. That's off the mark.
I like the idea.
9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock as Frater handles the ball up high. Clear size advantage on Carr. Works off a high screen. Trying to blow past Buddha. Bank shot is good.
Frater is heating up. He's playing really well.
The Alma lead by 7. Break tries to change that, and he does. Taraje break to the basket for 2. 4 seconds to work with on the game clock. Wosu has to fire at the buzzer. Bank shot won't fall. And at the end of at the end of the first half, I should say. 59-54 your score. Rebels trail by 5. I don't think any of us would have expected that at the start of this ball game.
Yes, sir. You know how sticky it gets.
pretty sticky right now. Well, break down this first action, our first 2 quarters of play real quick in a 30-second time frame. What do you think so far?
30-second time frame. We started out really good. We got sloppy. We didn't offensive rebound, and we gave up too many second chance opportunities. And it's coming back to haunt us right now because we're losing. So if that wouldn't be the case, we would be winning. We were up by 13 at one point in time.
No question about it.
We let these guys slowly chip away at the lead, and that's just what I say, man. You got to play 4 quarters of basketball. You can't play 2 good and then 2 lackluster. When we finally see a good team, we might not be able to come back.
Well, I'll tell you what, 41-26 at one point in this ball game, Rebels led. Now they trail by 5. We want to send it down to Julian Winters, who's standing by.
Thank you, Matt. Here we have head coach Petrozello of the Alma. Coach, what happened in that second quarter? First quarter, you guys didn't have it going, but second quarter, something clicked. What did you tell your team in the huddle?
Well, to be quite honest, I told them at the quarter break that if we weren't going to play any type of defense, we might as well just pack it in for the night. We have to have more pride playing some defense like that, and we came out, we guarded better in the second quarter. We took some of their actions away. We changed a couple, coverages, and it worked for that period of time. Right now, we got to go back, make sure we're settling in for the third quarter because they're going to come back strong.
Yeah, and you just mentioned that this Rebels team. You played them early in the season. You know how they like to attack in the second half. What has to happen to make sure that you guys continue to keep your foot on the gas pedal?
Yeah, we got to play one possession at a time. Keep understanding that being in the moment means understanding where we need to be on every coverage, making sure we find a body, because one slip up and they're at the rim, wide open 3, they're getting down into the paint, right? Like, basketball is a simple game, but it's very, very difficult to do well over long stretches. That's why we got to get back on the same page, make sure we're going to be working together like that in the second half.
And very quickly, is there a quick update on Rayon Capron? How's he feeling, his leg?
Yeah, he's doing better. He fell on his leg. There's nothing structural there, so he's good to go. And he's active for the second half.
All right, good luck, Coach.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Basketball is a simple game, but it's difficult to do for long stretches.
That was a really good.
That's what I took from that.
Yeah, that was
it's a
really
fact.
good. Yeah, that's a fact.
Halftime here in Reading. 59-54, Alma lead. We'll be back for the halftime report. Myself, Nate Govan, Julian Winters going to break down this first half of action.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Caron, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our
When we say we're
members
building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Karen, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Karen, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Karen, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
First, I'm just going to tell you how this is going to work. We have 4 days of training camp. I want to see where you guys are at, what you've been doing for the past 3 months, okay? Some of you guys are back from last year. And last year, the culture here was terrible.
Be patient. Oh my God. Mental toughness is what we need, fellas.
Yeah, I show them that. All the right I'm mad. Took the youngin' to Hollywood and it taught them how to.
This year, we're changing the culture. And there's 4 things I really want to focus on this year.
Ready for this lifestyle, ready for this lifestyle.
The first thing is just discipline. Is being disciplined.
Ready for this lifestyle. Are you ready for this lifestyle? Yeah, yeah. Are you ready for this lifestyle?
Respect. Respecting each other. On this court, you respect each other. When you come here, you respect what's on your chest.
Are you ready for this lifestyle? Lifestyle, yeah, lifestyle, yeah, yeah. Are you ready for this lifestyle? Yeah, lifestyle, yeah.
We are going to be the hardest working team in our division. I guarantee that. I promise you that.
I wanna be best in every way. East to west in the day. Have my heart I always keep, but I leave the rest in the stage. Right there left in the stage. Yeah.
Mental toughness. Mental toughness. When things go wrong, are you going to be that guy that points a finger at your teammate? Are you going to be the guy that smacks him on the... Say, come on, pick your head up, let's go.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Karen, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, With the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Karen, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
Welcome into the halftime report here. Max Gretzula, Nate Govan, Julian Winters, Alvernia University tonight. Reading 13-3 on the season, but it doesn't look like that if you watch this first half. First quarter went pretty well, but obviously it was an offensive explosion there for the Alma in that second quarter. They lead by 5. Your thoughts on the first half?
So, on the first half, we started out really well. We got to get a body on Fortin. He's got almost 8 or 9 offensive rebounds by himself, and he's converted out of that 8 of 9, at least 6 of them. So those are 12 second chance opportunity points, where at one point in time, Julian, we were up by 13, and now we're not. So talk to me more about that.
Yeah, there was a quick switch. The first quarter, that was theirs. That was the Rebels. The second quarter was the Alma. I don't know what happened offensively. It felt like no ball can get in the bucket. And then defensively, there was nobody crashing the boards. There's nobody rebounding. There's nobody making Fortin feel uncomfortable. He's just having his way. He's just doing whatever he wants. And right now, Rebels, what has to happen? You have to change it offensively and defensively.
It's really both, right? When you talk about it, there's not just one side of the basketball the Rebels are struggling with, especially in that second quarter. It's both sides of the basketball. When you talk about the prior matchup between these two teams, 117-95 was the victory for the Rebels. And today the script has pretty much been flipped. In my opinion, they're playing with a little bit more energy. That is the Alma. Is that the inclusion of Frater maybe into the lineup? Possibly just a little bit more energy, and the flow of the offense seems to have changed.
Well, I guess you can give a little bit of credit where credit is due, but you can't take the onus off of the Rebels in the defense that we're playing or the lack of it, specifically when it comes to being physical in the post and putting a body on a body. We can't just let Fortin get to his spot whenever he wants. Specifically, we can't let him get down there and throw bows with us like that and dominate. So we got to get more physical.
Yep. Right now, I feel like the Rebels just underestimated Alma. They were like, oh, we beat them earlier in the season. They're only 1-12. Oh, we ain't worried about them. No, you got to make sure you pay attention to them. You played them earlier this season. You know what they like to do offensively. You know what they like to do defensively. It's a trap game. This is a trap game. This is a game that you're supposed to win. And right now, you're not doing a good job at it, Rebels.
We say it time and time again, the turnovers and the free throws will be key coming down the stretch here. But when you talk about the offensive end, you mentioned it, Julian, the offense has changed for the Alma from the prior matchup when we saw them here a month ago. And it's not like one guy has really taken over the game, right? Fortin obviously has 20, but they've been 20 points that are inside the paint, inside the perimeter total. He's only got 1-3, and he's not shooting it well from beyond the arc, only 1 of 5 from downtown in that first half. So it's really a collective effort, so to speak, because the ball movement has been pretty solid for the most part.
Well, it has. And, you know, when you have solid ball movement and you have offensive rebounds, you get second chance opportunities, and you're going to usually outscore your opponent. One good thing the Rebels have going for themselves is that we usually play exquisite in the second half, so sure to see more of that tonight.
Yep, and I'm pretty sure Coach Letterman, he had a talk. He always says, I don't need to yell at my players. He always says that. I know he probably did a little yelling, but he's going to get this team right. I just want to see what top leaders, Rich McCollum, Akil Carr, he's always gets hot in the fourth quarter. So who's going to step up for the Rebels? But I want to see defensively, are you going to make Alma pressure? Are you going to pressure them? That has to start first.
No question about it. We'll see if they come out in that half court, maybe full court press to open this third quarter. Of course, Coach Lennerman, we heard him on the sideline, pretty frustrated to say the least. So
just a little bit.
Right, exactly. We have second half action coming your way next. Again, Max Gretzula, Nate Govan, Julian Winters will be on the call with you the rest of the way, and we'll see you for the third quarter.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members first.
We put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Caron, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
Third quarter action coming your way momentarily. Leading scorer in this ball game so far overall has been Mark Fortin. 20 points. They've all come inside the perimeter except for one three-point attempt. And for the Reading Rebels, Akil Carr leading the way with 17 points of his own. So we'll see the energy these Rebels come out with, what Coach Linderman said to these guys in the locker room. Of course, we'll find out at the end of this ball game for the post-game interview. But hopefully it was something to light a fire under these guys, and that's not a pretty start to this second half. Obviously, a turnover to open.
Yeah, and you can see Akil Carr and Richard McCallum weren't happy with that miscommunication on that possession there, but it's little small things like that that they need to get together and just get a little bit sharper on.
Starters back in for both sides. Maurice Henry checked out there late in the second quarter, got hit up high, checked out for a concussion. He is clear, obviously, out there right now, and that's a missed shot from the Alma, and Capron knocked that one out of bounds. Carr tried to push quickly.
Well, and that's 2 turnovers right out of the half. So if you're Coach Linderman, you're probably not happy about that, but we want to see these guys settle in, take your time, and let's start to execute.
Well, Rebels have possession of the basketball. McAlpin will inbound side out. We've seen the Reading Rebels basically come out on fire in multiple second halves this season. So expect nothing less, especially against a team that's 1-12 on the year.
Yeah, it's as if they go to the locker room and they get the magic pixie dust and everything's okay.
McCallum dishing underneath to Buddha, who elevates, misses the shot. The tip back won't go either. Buddha lost the handle, and it's a Rebels turnover.
So that's 3 possessions, 3 turnovers.
Fortin spins on Henry, push shot with the right hand, no, ball loose. Fortin gathers it, and there's Gonzalez underneath, plus the foul as Buddha clobbers Gonzalez under the rim.
Let's see if they count the basket. Yeah.
Basket does count. Gonzalez will have one more at the free throw line. Gonzalez comes in, shooting only 33% from the stripe this season. That one's good, obviously limited attempts, that is.
Well,
but
we
he's
need
got
to
the free throw there.
Keep that in mind as the game gets late. You know, if we get into a foul situation, he's the guy we want to foul.
Carr swatted away from Capron. You got to love the hustle as he runs out of bounds for that loose ball.
Man,
stopped me momentarily because he almost did miss that Gatorade jug.
Goodness gracious.
McCallum has his inbounds pass deflected into the crowd, so he'll try it again. Again, Rebels need to kickstart their offense. Carr lobbing into Buddha, who gathers it, trapped by 3 orange jerseys, and we have a whistle and a travel. So the Rebels, another turnover.
So that's 4 straight possessions, 4 turnovers coming out of halftime. So, you know, that just shows me right now that mentally we're not where we need to be, and hopefully they can pull it together.
Frater, the drive, the left-handed shot is good. And just like that, a mini 5-0 run for the Alma to open this third quarter. Break trapped around the short corner area. McCallum driving in, left-handed layup, left short. Fortin gathers the rebound, 5-on-4 developing the other way. Frater underneath the Capron. can't handle it. Ball's loose. It's out of bounds. We'll see who last touched it, and it was Break. So the Alma will maintain possession of the basketball. They lead by 10 with 10:06 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, just didn't see that coming. Up 10.
Fall away deuce in the short corner by Freitas off the mark. Henry gathers the defensive rebound. It's one and done that time for the Alma.
So let's see if we can hold on to the possession.
Break. This is the Buddha. Finds a crease and can't get the finish, but he's fouled on the way up. So you're right, Nate. Obviously a little lackadaisical so far is this offense. And Buddha, when he gets to the rim, we don't see him miss too often, but he does right there.
No, just a little strong off the glass on that one. And he did have significant contact going to the rim. But what I did like from that possession there was we're going toward the basket. We're trying to draw contact. And that's the way to get yourself out of a shooting slump or a scoring slump. Get to the hole, get fouled, get to the line and try to make a couple of easy baskets, so to speak.
Rebels coming in as a team averaging 32 free throw attempts per game. That's in the top half of the league. And Buddha is 0 of 4 from the stripe tonight with those two missed shots. And Henry able to salvage the possession as he fights for the offensive rebound, and the Rebels will maintain possession.
And that's what I like
inbound on the baseline.
Offensive rebounds for the Rebels. We haven't had a whole lot of them today. Oh, nice look.
Carr
Ooh.
steps on the baseline, and the Rebels turn it over.
Well, so that's like 6 out of 7 possessions coming out of the halftime where we turn the ball over.
Freitas off a high screen from Fortin. That one's swatted away. McCallum chases after it. Look out. It's a slam from Richard McCallum, and hopefully that's the spark the Reading Rebels needed on the offensive end as Wosu tries to answer, can't do so. Buddha gathers the miss, looks for some help. Ball's out of bounds. It'll go back to Reading, and finally a little bit of energy inside of this building.
Well, see, and that's what happens when you play defense. Good defense leads to transition baskets at the other end of the court, and Rich McCallum goes up and throws it down. Hopefully that gets us going.
Dribble handoff from Henry to Break. Thought about a three. Instead, it's McCallum in the corner. Couple of jab steps. Now it's Henry. Two big bodies going at it. Henry the step through. Boom! With the man's jam! However,
young fella.
However, the referees will wave it off as the shot clock expired.
Oh, no, Max. Stop playing with me, man. And the crazy thing is, you see Fortin underneath the basket. He just wants no parts of that. He steps back, and he's just a spectator at that point in time.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I never heard an arena go wild like that and then fall silent in that short amount of time. As
it's like give you the world and then take it right away from you. That sucks, man. That sucks.
Rebels pick up a technical foul. We'll get you who that was momentarily. I believe it was assessed to the bench after the disagreement, to say the least, with those referees. Nevertheless, the free throw is good from Freitas. And the Alma obviously maintain possession after the shot clock violation from the Reading Rebels. And that, again, Nate, is another Rebels turnover.
Another one. Well,
Another one.
We just got to stop doing that. We just can't do that and expect to win ball games. So let's give them a chance to fix it. And this is another game that we're kind of battle testing ourselves.
Break gets to his spot and knocks down a two.
What will the Rebels be able to do, Max, to dig out of this one here?
Fortin looking for his second three of the game. That's off the back iron and out. Another offensive rebound. This time it's Wosu with a pump fake, and now he'll reset.
Well, if it ain't Fortin, it's Gonzalez. If it ain't Gonzalez, it's Fortin. So
Wosu going downhill, picks up the dribble. Gonzalez with his foot on the line, misses everything, and it's a shot clock violation for the Alma.
Yeah, another air ball.
Substitution. The sixth man on this Rebels team has checked into the ballgame. That's Miles Lewis, number 24. And Richard McCall will head to the bench. Ball in the hands of Taraji Brake. Scored 14 in that first half. He looks for a three here and misses everything. So Taraji Brake, 16 points on the game, but misfires on that three-point attempt as Frater. Fall away two. He's got it.
Well, Frater he's balling right now.
Frater,
man.
a scoring machine.
Well, you know, him and Fortin are really getting the job done. I thought we would see more from
Lewis
Wosu.
lowers the shoulder. He's fouled on the way up. It'll be a blocking foul on Wosu.
And I thought we'd see a bigger offensive output from Wosu. Last time these teams met, he scored 39 points in that game. So, you know, he can get buckets too, but probably with the addition of Frater, he probably doesn't have to do as much heavy lifting. Fortin, Frater, Wosu, pretty good triple threat. I'm surprised the way this team is playing right now that they're, 1-12?
Miles Lewis at the free throw line. He shoots it at 59% on the year, and he's got two right here. Wosu scoring 39 of the team's 95 points in that 117-95 loss a month ago. And Lewis misfires on the first free throw.
Yeah, well, let's knock it down. Knock it down.
Second one on its way. That one's good. So 1 of 2 that time for Lewis. And now the ball back in the hands of Frater in the Alma the other way. 67-59, your score, Alma lead. 7-12 and counting as Frater loses Carr and banks home two off the window. Building has fallen silent here in Reading.
Oh, nice cross.
Lewis across, a spin. Can't get the friendly bounce. Ball's loose. Couple of bodies on the floor. Carr comes away with it, and the layup is good. Carr getting aggressive, and he finishes at the rim.
Just look at that tenacity from Carr. The smallest guy on the floor going up amongst the trees.
Fortin with a dish underneath to Capron, who
man.
yet again is on the floor, and he's clutching this time at that right ankle.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So Fortin down for the third time this evening. It was the knee, then the forearm, and now it looks like the ankle. We'll step aside as he gets checked on yet again and be right back.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to Members First in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, Members
We
First.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Caron, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to Members First in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, Members
We
First.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Karen, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Karen, real about recovery.
Out of a timeout. 6:35 to play in the third quarter. 69-61. Rebels trail.
Well, listen, it's not the end of the world. It's only 8 points right now. So, let's continue to get back to the basics. Be flawless on our fundamentals and forthcoming in our positive attitudes out there. The grit that you see on the Kill Car's face right now, and what you saw in that last possession when he went up high amongst the trees, that has to permeate throughout the entire roster, from the best man to the least man on the bench.
No question about it. 6:35. We talked about it. Obviously, the Reading Rebels only 7 points in almost 6 minutes of game action here in the third quarter. And it's Capron who was able to get up under his own power this time. And he's got 2 shots at the line. First one is good.
Man, I swear, Capron's got like 9 lives out there. I don't know how many times he can go down and get back up, but the young man's got some grit.
Capron good on the second. And we have a substitution. Capron will check out and head to the bench. Back into the ballgame is Samuel Deek, number 6 for the Alma.
I haven't seen a lot from Deek. He's shot the ball a couple of times, but I don't think he's gotten on the board as of yet.
Carr driving in with the right hand. He's fouled on the bump. Shot won't go, but he'll get back to the line for 2.
And again, going hard to the hole, a Kill Carr. Why am I not surprised?
Talked about the grit you saw in his face. Obviously, at that most recent bucket, I guess is a better way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Able to get that offensive board on the baseline and finish at the rim. This time, he's got 2 at the line, and the Rebels at this point in time need them both. First one's good.
Nice shot. Nice shot.
Well, you know what it is with this team, right? Obviously, a kid starts with a Keel Carr, Rich McCallum. Buddha can explode at any moment, and I think that's one of the main reasons why there's so many different ways the Rebels can attack you. And again, going back to one of the reasons why they are 13-3, as that second one from Carr is off the mark.
And just like you said, Max, these guys are 13-3, so they know what they're doing. It's just not completely on display at this specific moment.
Frater push shot with the left hand, no. Wosu gets it tipped back out to him and misses the 3.
And that's what we need, a defensive stop. Now let's get down the court and get a bucket.
Lee with the dribble handoff to Break. He stops and fires, and that one's off the front of the rim. Fortin up ahead now. Frater continues to work this offense, and he's done it at a high level tonight. Can't argue that. Miscommunication there results in an Alma turnover as Break fouled in the open floor. So Break obviously a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, and that looked like a clear path foul to me.
You talk about the frustration on Break's face. He's got 16 tonight, but obviously feels like his team should be performing better, and you mentioned it right there, Nate. The clear path foul was called.
Yep.
So that's a free throw there for Break. Again, all important down the stretch. He's good on the free throw.
Knock the free throw down, retain possession of the basketball, but we need to make them pay and score on this possession. That's the key to it. Okay, we got the clear path foul. We knocked it down. It's great. Now let's execute and get one more score.
So after the made free throw from Break, he heads to the bench, and back into the ball game is Richard McCallum. Carr working on Frater. He's fouled as he was trying to get around him.
So Frater is, I don't want to say he's struggling with the kill Carr, but a kill is definitely making him work. Specifically coming off of the screens and everything, pick and rolls, pick and pops. You know, he's getting bumped up there. He's making him work, and I like that.
I agree with that. Of course, the double team has come at multiple times as Buddha and Henry continue to try and set high screens to free up Carr. And Carr's good on the first free throw. The Alma, with 5:25 to play in the third quarter, are over the limit, so any fouls against the Alma will result in Rebels free throws. Carr good on the second. Two big ones right there.
So with that in mind, Max, we need to attack.
Good hedge there from Lee off the screen. Now Buddha back underneath to defend Fortin. Fortin puts the ball on the deck, spins, push shot, no.
Nice.
Rebound to the Rebels. McCallum lost the handle. Carr trying to get it back, and we have a whistle.
Yeah,
it's going to be a loose ball foul.
That's just unfortunate on that one, Max. Hope a kill Carr is all right.
Foul's going to go against Wusu. That's his third personal for the Alma, and Carr still shaking up on the play, just trying to gather himself. Of course, you saw a couple of bodies on the floor, but not what you want to see. A one-and-done chance for Reading. McCallum puts the ball on the deck and then loses it. Opportunities go by the wayside slowly when you're late in this ball game like we are for the most part right now.
Yeah, and you got to really capitalize on every single opportunity because like you're saying, Max, the clock is against us at this point in time, so we don't have all day to get this together.
Carr will walk the floor to the line. He's got two right here. Again, we mentioned it. The Alma are over the limit. Carr's good on the first free throw. And I tell you what, Nate, if the buckets on the offensive end and the offensive sets aren't going to fall, the free throw line is always your best friend.
Well, and thank goodness we've got one of our best free throw shooters at the line right now, so that should bode well for us.
Carr, good on a pair. Full court pressure now being applied. Nice. Lee went to save it. You talk about what Julian said at halftime. Will we see a little bit more pressure being applied from the Rebels? And you see it now. Not half-court press, but a full court.
I like it. Let's see if we can create some turnovers and get a couple of fast breaks going. And speaking of that, Max, that's one thing you really haven't seen us do tonight is get out there and run. You know, nice shot. They've pretty much kept us in a half-court set the whole game. Go to work. Yo.
Buddha.
Wow.
I'm running out of things to say about Emmanuel Buddha living at the rim, but he just picked up a technical foul, which is why I hesitated.
For hanging on the rim. I mean, anyway, we're going to step away from that. What was way better was the face-up, crossover, go to the hole, and bang. You know, Fortin he couldn't move his feet fast enough to stay with him.
Doesn't have the lateral quickness to match up with Buddha, and Frater on the other end has the technical free throw, which is good. Now, I'll tell you what, the amount of turnovers tonight the Rebels have, a little surprising, but when you look at the Alma, 50th out of 53 teams in the TBL in steals per game, but they're getting them in bunches tonight.
Yeah, that's abnormal. That's an oxymoron. That's weird. And we
pick
hope
a word.
It stops.
Pick a word,
pick a word, right? I'm going through my thesaurus.
Wosu, no good on the first, but the second chance bucket drops. 76-69, Alma lead, 4:08 to play in the third quarter. The pace has slowed on the offensive end, this time down the floor for Reading. Lee puts the ball on the deck. Both bodies are on the floor. And Deke, who just checked back into the ballgame, forces another, I'll say it, Rebels turnover. Frater checks out.
You had to say it, Max.
I did. I had to, unfortunately. Frater out of the ballgame momentarily. I'm sure it'll be a quick stay on the bench as the Alma try to keep their foot on the gas pedal. And Cumming has checked back in. Again, yellow shoes. Cumming, yellow shoes. That's how you remember that one. As Buddha with the steal in the open floor. Look out below. That's an easy one for Emmanuel Buddha.
Thank you. No hanging on the rim. Put the ball in the hole, get back on D. That's good work.
Wosu goes back door, then kicks. Could have been a travel, and it is. Deke travels with it.
Well, and that's what happens when you're not used to shooting it. You get the rock, you're scared to shoot it, you're trying to give it up, and your feet are moving faster than your mind is actually processing the play. That's what happened to him on that one.
Rebels trying to bring a little bit of life back into this arena. Carr off a high screen. Drives to the basket. We have a whistle.
Yes, sir. The boys look like they play together.
So Carr fouled on the drive. And again, continue to mention it. Living at the free throw line late stages of this third quarter, and it's paid off as we continue to try to chip away at this Alma lead.
And honestly, Max, we're doing a good job at it. If I'm the Rebels right now and I'm calling shots, I'm continuing to attack. I like the matchup with Akil Carr on whoever, and I like what we saw out of Buddha to attack Fortin down low. Fortin normally plays Buddha. Gonzalez doesn't too much, but we got to keep attacking their bigs. I want to see Mo Henry continue to lower his shoulder and get busy. Let's get him the ball inside.
Carr 2 of 2 from the stripe that time. Henry back into the ball game. Buddha heads to the bench. Fortin looks to feed Gonzalez. Now back up top, Fortin. Frater, we mentioned it, a quick stay on the bench. Carr comes away with the steal. Nobody's going to stop him, and he glides to the basket for 2.
That's it.
Rebels
Carr looks like he wants to do it single-handedly, Max.
Rebels are within 1. Frater, fall away deuce. He's got it. Right when the Alma need a bucket, they go to number 10, and he connects. Carr stops, foot on the line. Deuce is good. Akil Carr, a one-man wrecking crew right now.
Wow, Akil Carr just put the team on his back and just won't give up.
Frater thought about a step-back 3. This time he'll spin, he'll fire, and he rattles in.
I mean, that's just a nasty shot. That was good defense, and Carr came over with the help. That kid is nasty.
Just over 2 to play in the third quarter. Carr the hot hand. This time he drives. Floater up, no, too strong. Gonzalez the rebound. Ball back into the hands of Frater. Frater stops, steps into one, and leaves that one a little bit short. However, the Rebels cannot come away with the defensive rebound.
So down here on the other end, Deke got away with holding McCallum. I mean, he darn near spent his body around, and the referees called nothing.
Capron gliding in, leaves that jumper short, and it's off of the Alma and back to the Rebels. So tough shot there from Capron, right? He glides into the painted area, 2 steps, but almost looked like he was moving in slow motion out there.
Yeah, that was different.
So Capron now one-on-one with Carr. Obviously a matchup, in my opinion, the Rebels can take advantage of, especially with that gimpy knee as Lewis drives and falls away, and he can't get the finish. But he is fouled, which means he'll head back to the free throw line for 2. Rebels have been in the bonus since the 5-minute mark of this third quarter and have taken every advantage of it.
Nice.
Lewis good on the first. Here come a couple of subs. Wosu back into the ball game. He'll check in for Frater. Coming into the ball game as well, and Gonzalez will head to the bench.
And Miles Lewis coming on, or not coming on, but in this season right now, averaging 16.8 points a game, 7.1 rebounds. He's just been doing a little bit of everything. He had a really great game against the Virginia Valley Vipers last game, and just looking to see him continue to do what he does best.
Fortin drives baseline, loses the handle. Ball still loose. Bodies are on the floor.
Nice.
The Rebels come away with it. Lewis went for the sidestep. Ball's out of bounds. Last touch by Reading, so ball back to the Alma, and a little bit too out of control that time. And I'm going to say it yet again.
Don't do it, Max.
Another Rebels turnover. 80-79, 107 to play in the third quarter. Again, Reading down 1. Don't go anywhere. We're coming in for a landing late stages of the third, and then the fourth. Who knows what can happen.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Caron, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on a sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
Out of a timeout, the Alma have possession of the basketball. Fortin will inbound, and here comes that full court press again.
Nice.
Under a minute to play in this third quarter. Cumming hesitates and drives. Stops, looks for some help, and Henry able to suffocate him underneath. Look out for McCallum. He goes back door. Can't get the finish as he falls to the deck. 5-on-3, back the other way. And it's a Rebels steal.
Let's slow it down.
Carr with numbers. Drives in. McCallum. Oh, man. Look out below. McCallum elevates and detonates.
Ankle looks good, Max. The ankle looks good. And the Rebels bench loves it. And just like that, 81-80, Max. And we back in business, baby.
One more at the stripe for McCallum. It's up and good. Rebels lead by 2. People always say a tale of 2 halves, a tale of 2 quarters. Well, this time you could argue it's been a tale of 6 minutes. First 6 minutes of game action. In this third quarter, Rebels had 7 points. They now lead by 2 with 14 seconds to play. 5-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock here in the third quarter. Wosu, deep one. That misses everything. 5 seconds to work with. It's McCallum back the other way, trying to dribble through everybody. Attacks the basket. Can't get the finish at the buzzer. And you can tell he's frustrated with himself as he heads to the bench. 82-80 your score at the end of 3. 12 minutes of game action left to be played. Rebels hanging on by a narrow margin.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Karen, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Karen, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
We have entered the fourth quarter of play here in Reading. Max Gretzula and Nate Govan on the call with you. Friday night hoops at Alvernia University. The Reading Rebels coming in 13-3 on the year, up against a team that's 1-12 on the season.
I do not want to see these guys get their second win against us.
Well, if you watch the first 3 quarters, you would not be able to tell that they are 1-12 because we are knotted at 82. Start of the fourth. First bucket goes to Fortin and the orange jerseys. And Lewis with the first possession for Reading.
Don't do it, Matt.
I got to do it again. They turned the basketball over.
Ay, ay, ay. I don't know, Max.
So on the floor currently for the Alma, it's Deke number 6, Wosu number 7, Frater number 10, Capron number 11, and the leading scorer for this Alma team, Fortin number 34 up high. Firing away is Deke, and there's his first bucket of the game. Couldn't have come at a better time for the Alma. It's a 3.
Well, Deke looks good from the corner, and Akil Carr really challenged the shot, too, so it's just a great shot by him.
Carr puts on the brakes and dishes to Henry, who's got a 2 underneath. High screen from Fortin. Frater works off of that. Dishes underneath. Nice backdoor cut from Capron, but lost the handle. Break with the steal. Works past Wosu. Has some space. Nice backdoor cut from Lewis, and he's got the flush. Rebels back in front. They lead by 1. 86-85 your score.
Break to Lewis looks good on that possession, man. I'll tell you that.
Wosu to the corner. Deke looks to drive, instead he'll kick. It's an open 3 from Fortin, and that one's off the mark. Break, again, another defensive rebound. This time he'll dish the Carr, who slows the pace. McCallum finds a lane off his knee. And McCallum slow, the hustle back on the other end. 5-on-4 developing the other way. Frater underneath the Capron. That one's not going to fall, but Fortin on cleanup duty. He can't get the finish either. McCallum is still shaken up. He will step out of this ball game. There's a whistle. You know, McCallum, when he went to drive, it almost looked like he planted that left knee and realized, uh-oh, something happened there.
Yeah, he tweaked it. I wonder if he re-aggravated the ankle injury he was already dealing with. Or if
Wosu not called for an offensive foul, instead misses everything. Ball on the floor. Fortin comes away with it, fouled on the shot. And Henry is the guilty party as McCallum gets that left leg looked at on the sideline.
Well, Fortin is just doing what he does. He's like an octopus. It's like he's got 8 arms out there, and he's grabbing every rebound and going back up. But you know what? It ain't over yet, Max.
You know
I don't
the old
hear
saying,
any ladies singing.
it ain't
out
over till
there.
it's over. You know that.
It ain't over till it's over, and we still got plenty of time to turn things around. You saw how we were able to make a little run to get the lead back. We can just find a way to get back to that point and keep getting some more defensive stops. We need that big time.
Well, Fortin makes the first free throw and makes the second as well. Came in shooting 72% on the year. That'll obviously increase after this one's over. But the three-point percentages for Fortin not looking good tonight. 1 of 8 from downtown, and coming into this game shoots 25% from the perimeter. So surprising to me that he took so many here tonight, and we're not even halfway through this fourth quarter. As that is another Rebels turnover. I hate to say it, but it is, and Wosu just does the same exact thing. So Rebels get lucky. They'll earn possession back, and we're in a dogfight here down the stretch, Nate. 87-86, back and forth we go.
Well, Max, everything happens for a reason in life, and I just feel like these last couple of games where we've had to play teams close, it's just character building and getting us battle tested for the playoffs.
Well, McKellop is checked out, and he's sitting back on the Rebels bench. Carr had that ball deflected and out of bounds. Capron has been pretty much in Carr's pocket all night long as Carr goes baseline this time. Reverse layup, no, but a foul.
And like I said, that's the key to success. Going to the hoop, Akil Carr, one of our best free throw shooters. Like I said earlier, I like to match up with Carr on anybody out there. He can simply get it done, and, right now he's still carrying the team in the second half.
Well, one of the main reasons how Reading was able to get back into this ball game was the free throw line there in the third quarter. Carr's back there yet again, and he's got the first one to drop. Here comes a substitution. Starter Gonzalez back into the ball game. Deke will head to the bench for the Alma. Carr with one more at the line. Looking to take the lead back for the Rebels, and he does.
Let's go.
88-87. Punch for punch here down the stretch in the fourth. Frater, the spin. We have a whistle and a foul. It's going to be called on Akil Carr. That's his fourth personal foul. Frater apparently was in the act of shooting. I didn't see that, but
yeah, I'm like, where did that happen? But I guess the refs,
Frater gets the friendly bounce on the first. We're backing out at 88. Here comes a substitution. Emmanuel Buddha will check into the ball game. Maurice Henry will head out. Obviously, without backup center Wonkwu, Henry and Buddha trading center minutes here tonight, even though they both did start this ball game. Loose ball foul is going to be picked up on Fortin off the missed free throw. So Lewis will inbound in front of the Alma bench and break now.
And that's only Fortin's second foul. And that's part of the problem. Why aren't we attacking this big guy?
Carr working on Capron. A little bit of iso ball. Gets the step and swatted away. Capron looks at him. Could be a little bit of taunt there, but hey, we're just hanging out having fun, right? We're just hanging out having fun, hooping a little bit.
Let's see the mop guy get out there and put that work in. Go ahead, mop guy.
I love it. Love the energy. Kids out here having fun tonight on a Friday night. You see a lot of them in the crowd just having some fun. And that's what this is all about. TBL, baby. Rebels, 13-3, nothing better. Third in the conference. We mentioned it, hoping for their first playoff bid, second year in the league, and that one left short from Lee. Wosu up ahead. It's Fortin. He stops, and he lays home two.
Yes.
Alma break the tie. They lead by 2.
Hey, Max, the biggest dude on the court can't be the first one down getting the rock.
Great observation. You know what? You do make great observations. It's simple, but they are great.
I'm just saying, Max. I'm just saying.
Carr gets a little too cute with it and turns it over. Gonzalez in La La Land gets lucky. Is Frater able to help him out there? He'll fire away, and he'll miss the triple.
That's a foul.
Lewis at the open floor as Capron hustles back. Lewis working on Wosu. Lewis,
Nice.
The push shot is good.
Wow. Driving left, Pull up, lean, and shoot right.
90 all. Who wants it more? We're under 8 to play in the fourth quarter. Frater, Fortin, Capron. He'll drive into the painted area. Fall away two. Swatted away from Lee. Great defensive play. Lee back the other way. Cross-court pass. Carr. He wants a triple, and he's got it. Akil Carr from beyond the arc.
I think the Alma need a timeout. The Rebels are heating up.
Can the Rebels find a way to pull away? They lead by 3, 7:15 and counting. Frater gets to the basket, and the scoop layup is good.
You know, maybe it might be time to send 2 defenders at this guy because he's getting to the hole pretty easily. That's a foul. Blow the whistle.
Break slows the pace. Looks for some help. It's Lewis. Couple of jab steps now. He back dribbles. 6 to shoot. Lewis attacks. Working on Gonzalez and gets the finish.
Oh, he told him he's little. Miles Lewis talking a little smack out there. I like it, baby. I like it.
High screen from Fortin. He rolls off of it. He has it. Push shot off the glass. No.
Nice.
And here comes Buddha in the open floor. He's out to the races. Sidestep. Layup. Plus the foul. Emmanuel Buddha makes a muscle. Tells him, you know what? I'm just a little too big.
Well, you know, and that's just getting the weight room material, Max. If you're not in there hitting the bench press, getting the dumbbells right, you can't stop that caliber of player going to the hoop like that.
No need for sleeves when you're Emmanuel Buddha. 97-92. Rebels lead. We'll step aside.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Caron, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
The pressure is on here in Reading. (97-92). Buddha at the stripe.
And going back to that last finish by Buddha, you know, just too strong, too tough in the paint. Get big.
Speaking of too strong, a little too strong on the free throw, and the Alma come away with it. Break.
Nice.
The steal. Carr in the open floor. A little too strong. Buddha can't get the tip, can't get the second chance opportunity. And he's fouled underneath.
Well,
so
I like the effort, Max.
I tell you what, Frater trying to orchestrate the offense, gets a little sloppy with it, turns the basketball over, and with 6 minutes left in the ball game, just can't do things like that. And the Rebels take advantage of it. Buddha, who we know has struggled from the line pretty much all season long, including tonight, is continuing to earn each and every opportunity to make things right. He's got 2 chances right here, staring him in the face.
Well, you know, you got to make the best of the opportunities. And 92-97, you know, keep them at bay. Keep them at bay.
First one good from Buddha. It's a 6-point lead for the Rebels with 6:07 to play in the fourth quarter.
Well, Max, and the last thing that I liked about the last possession, rather, should I say, is that we went down there and got a defensive stop. You know, It wasn't an easy bucket by the Alma to kind of slow our momentum or stop our run. So that's what we need to see, more stops.
Frater trying to go baseline. He has that one swatted away, and Lewis is now gimpy on the sideline.
Miles. But again, another defensive stop. So that's what we need. 2 defensive stops in a row. Come down, see if we can convert that into points, and then, manage the clock, manage our turnovers. If we can have less than 3 turnovers in this last 5 minutes, I think we win the ball game.
Well, all eyes now on Miles Lewis, 6th Man of the Year candidate for the Reading Rebels.
Yeah, hope he's okay.
Bodies were going at it into the painted area. Of course, couldn't really see what exactly happened, but he did come away from the pact.
Well, yeah, hopefully he's just taking some time, getting himself together, giving his teammates a quick breather, and he's going to be able to get back up and, get looked at. Tom Franic's over there working hard. Doing
Got a busy night, Tom Franick.
Yeah. Dr. Franick is a good guy. He's another local Exeter Township guy, heavily involved. His son is a year younger than my son over there at Exeter, and he's one of the good guys, one of the parents like myself who's always around, involved in doing what we can to give back to the kids.
It's great to hear. I love it. Lewis will limp to the bench.
And you hate to lose him because his contributions this evening have been tremendous, whether it be defensively, rebounding, shot blocking, and just getting to the hole in general. So we'll miss that, but
Anthony Lee is back into the ball game now. Had a solid night so far.
Yeah, Lee's going to pick right up where Miles left off.
Buddha and Capron to jump it up. Buddha gets his hand on it, but just hit it to the wrong color jersey.
Yeah.
Wosu with 8 to shoot. Working on break, a couple of crossovers. Spin into the lane. Tough shot up off the glass, no. Second chance, yes. Wosu not to be denied at the rim. Cuts the Rebels lead into 4.
And that's just Wosu being determined and not giving up. It's a good play by him.
Carr, a crossover, a kick. McCallum, open triple. Bang!
That's it.
Richard McCallum, a 3.
And that's what we need. We haven't had a whole lot of three-point shooting today. I think, Carr's hit one, Richards hit one, and I think Taraji might have hit one, right?
Buddha moving his feet. Follow away 2 from 4, and he gets the friendly bounce.
Yeah, I definitely thought he traveled on that one.
Break. Finds a crease. Stops. Kicks. McCallum. He wants it again. And he's got it again.
That's it.
Richard McCallum from downtown.
That's it. That's it. Step up.
Frater. No good on the jumper, but he's fouled.
And that's what we need. If he gets the ball, he makes that one or two moves to go to the hole. Somebody's got to step up and give him resistance right away. It can't be late because once he gets inside the paint area, he has too much body control and he's able to finish at the hoop.
So Frater at the line. He's a 70% free throw shooter on the year. 2 big ones at this moment in time. He's good on the first. Here comes a substitution. Deke back into the ball game. Gonzalez will check out. Second one from Frater. Rattles out, no, but there's that man just checking into the ball game is Deke, and he makes his presence felt.
Well, Deke's coming in late and making contributions. That's what you want to see. Good job by him.
Just over 4 to play. Carr fires and buries a 3. The crime stopper.
Wow, in your face. And he's letting them know it on the way down. That's a foul. Did you see that?
Deke, he wants to answer, can't do so. Buddha, the offensive board. Rebels by 8. Capron gets a hand on it. It's out of bounds. It'll stay with Reading. Under 4 to play in the fourth quarter. Gonzalez will check back into the ball game. Capron heads to the bench.
Yeah, because not for nothing, Akil Carr is cooking Capron. That last teardrop three-point shot, I mean, he shot that one so high. That was a nasty shot.
Carr, we'll see. Will he be a playmaker or a scorer? This time he turns it over, so it's neither. Fortin up ahead, finishes at the rim.
101-107, 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. And that's one turnover in that 5 minutes that I talked about. So
Break,
said less than 3.
drives, shot up, yes. Taraji break, gets a bucket. Fortin, he wants to try it again. This time, same result as it's been most of the night. Break loses the handle, and it's out of bounds. A Rebels turnover.
And Coach Linderman just can't, he can't take it, you know?
Timeout. Alma. 109-101 your score. Rebels by 8. Don't go anywhere. 3:01 to play in the fourth.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to Members First in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, Members
We
First.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Caron, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
.301 to go here in the fourth quarter. Reggie the Rebel hanging out, having fun at the scores table. He's just living his good old life. The Alma have possession of the basketball. High screen from Fort Freighter. It's go time now for the Alma. Wosu fires, misses. Lee the rebound. Jeez, he's bumped and fouled multiple times, no call.
It's like the refs are just swallowing their whistles.
Carr working on Wosu. Lobs it to McCallum. He lives above the rim. Wanted a foul, didn't get it. Up ahead, it's Fortin. Good hustle there from Lee. Tries to save it. Can't do so. But again, Rebels this time get back in transition. You talked about that earlier on in the broadcast. Fortin can't be the first man down the floor. This time, he almost made him pay.
Yeah, when you're the biggest dude on the court, you shouldn't be outrunning everybody to get a pass underneath the bucket like that.
Deke inbounds on the baseline. Freighter has it up high. Under 3 to go. Freighter firing away. This time it's off the mark. In the open floor, look out, break. McCallum, a bucket.
Let's go.
Rebels by 10, just over 2 to play in the fourth. Freighter goes behind the back. Scoop shot, bodies on the floor, and it's going to be an offensive foul.
Great job by Richard McCallum, the wily veteran out there. He moves his feet, gets planted, gets set, and takes the charge. That's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen.
Substitution. Freighter will head to the bench. Wosu back into the ball game. Break,
he missed.
picks up his dribble, gives it, a little handoff there. Buddha and Break. Back and forth they go. Break. Now Buddha, a couple of jab steps, a spin, fall away two. That one doesn't get the friendly roll. Gonzalez with it, pushes quickly. Underneath the Fortin. Cross court pass, Lee intercepts. Lee bumped and fouled.
Blow the whistle. Now, Max, the defense has just increased tremendously. And look what happens. 101 to 111, a minute 38 left. And see, the main difference is Fortin's not coming down, getting to his spot, doing whatever he feels like doing. Frater's not getting easy drives to the bucket for easy lay-ins. We're stepping up and we're making them work for everything.
Well, with that being said, Akil Carr has possession. 128, 127, 126 time remaining down the stretch here at Alvernia University. Carr loses the handle, ball on the floor. Buddha, the first man to the deck. He's got it. Now it's Lee, and we have a whistle. Timeout. Coach Linderman sees his squad in a little bit of trouble. He'll settle things down. Clearly a 10-point lead at the moment. And we'll take a quick break. Step aside. Be right back to wrap this one up here. Rebels sitting pretty.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Caron, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
Rebels have possession. Buddha trying to gather it underneath. We're out of a timeout here at Alvernia University, and it's going to be a shot clock violation as a couple of bodies hit the deck, and it's Capron slow to get up.
Again.
Liebert. Little offense, defense here for the Alma. We know Liebert can shoot it from downtown. He's not hesitant, and that's what the Alma need right now, obviously with only 1:03 to play in the fourth quarter. Liebert, on that note, turns it over. Carr has a step to the basket for 2.
How about the body control? Did you see that?
The way Carr contorts his body, very impressive, and the Alma won a timeout.
Well,
113-101 is your score.
And young kids, if you're watching this broadcast, that's how you effectively use your body, shield the defender, make the bucket.
We'll keep it right here. 51 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. What I'm seeing is a team that, big picture, didn't pull away in this one, right? It is currently a 12-point advantage, but in my opinion, it wasn't one of those offensive explosions that we've seen. It was chip away, chip away, chip away, and little by little, you look up, it was 6, then it was 8, then it was 12, and now all of a sudden we're sitting here, it's like, okay, this Rebels team did step up when it mattered most.
Well, the score is not really indicative of how the game has been played, you know. Like you said, Max, the Rebels just scratched and clawed their way back into this one. And, you know, not that I ever thought that they would not do it. I just wondered, how are they going to do it? And they did it with defensive stops and free throws.
Free throws.
And we've been critical about the free throws.
100%. But they deserve credit tonight, not only getting there so many times,
converting.
But converting. That's huge, definitely. And that's clearly what brought them back into this ball game in that third quarter. So Fortin will inbound on the far sideline. Wosu at the controls. Frater has checked back into the ball game as well. Wosu, the dribble drive, the layup, left short, ball batted around. Fortin trying to save it, can't do so. And the Rebels have possession with 40 seconds to go. Full court pressure being applied from the Alma. Rebels get it in. Card trying to play keep away. Break, cross court to McCallum. And this should do it. The Reading Rebels catch a scare from the team from north of the border.
Wow.
McCallum fires away. Wanted an exclamation point. Couldn't get it. And Wosu now with the shot clock unplugged, looks to dribble it out. The Reading Rebels will improve to 14-3 on the season. The Alma will drop to 1-13 on the year.
Nice win.
We will see you Sunday afternoon. The Syracuse Stallions will be here at Alvernia University. It'll be a matchup between two playoff hopefuls, the number 3 seed Rebels currently and the number 4 seed Stallions. That's Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. right here in this building.
Well, great game, Max, man. It's always a pleasure to work with you, sir. You know, Max Gresszola and Nate Govan, excellence in broadcasting here for the Reading Rebels. You know, big shout out to John Gross, you know, putting this all together and giving us this platform and opportunity to do our thing and showcase our talents and skills, Matt.
No question about it. Definitely support, or I should say you got to love the support who, you know, there's things to do on a Friday night. People want to come watch hoops. I like it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, man. And, you know, it's not too many places I'd rather be than calling a basketball game here with the Rebels and this fan base for this city, this community. Just a beautiful thing.
Well, we'll check on the status of Miles Lewis as the squads head their separate ways. Again, your final score, 113-101. The Rebels win. And if you watch the whole thing through and through, you say to yourself, well, through the first 3 quarters, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been. And, you know, you just wonder what's going through the minds of the players as they're trying to figure out and find ways to get back into this game. And they did everything they needed to do, man. Just straight professionals. You got to love that.
Well, I'll tell you what. Julian Winters will be standing by momentarily. Akil Carr has to take some pictures, has to sign some autographs for the fans. Again, a very impressive performance. You know, when I say one-man wrecking crew, Nate, use it a couple times tonight because each and every individual on this team really stepped up in different moments of the ballgame. But it truly was Akil Carr getting to the free throw line and then started to attack off the dribble and from beyond the arc.
Well, his energy, his relentlessness, his tenacious defense,
his grit,
his grind, his hustle. You know, it really was the driving force in the second half that brought the Rebels back up to where they needed to be in order to get over the hump. And it's just great to have a leader on your team like that. You know, it's not just a Rich McCallum who goes out there and is a leader. Guys like Carr do it too.
Well, Julian Winters standing by courtside right now. He has Akil Carr, and we get to hear really what was going through his mind as the Rebels really made their comeback, I guess, is the biggest thing. Julian, take us away down there.
Back up a little bit, or? Here we have Akil Carr, the Reading Rebels. My God, in the second half, you was dominant, bro. Scoring, offensively. You was just getting that ball in the bucket. Tell me about your play, man.
Oh, man, you know, first off, I'm going to thank, you know, shout out to the big man upstairs. Shout out to God. on, waking us up this morning, blessing us to play another game that we love. And we just get out here, it's a hard playoff push right now. We know everybody coming to us. We want to go have a little a saying that's not being a hunted, being the hunters. Yep. So we being the hunters right now. You get what I'm saying? So we want to get out here, just give it our all. One win on the weekend on our doubleheader. So we just looking to clinch. That's all.
Yep. And not only did you score, but man, you distributed as a point guard. You was making sure Rich got them back-to-back threes in the corner. You made sure Buddha always getting highlight plays. Tell me about you just being a point guard and leading your team in the right direction.
Oh man, me just being a point guard on this team, being a leader, being a captain. Just getting my guys in the right spot. Sometimes we go in a little slumps. It's a game of runs. It's pro basketball, so everybody's going to be a pro. Sometimes you might not make every shot that you take up, but we keep having trust in our teammates and trust in everybody. Everybody get their shots off. Like I give Rich the ball, get Buddha the ball, get Taraji the ball. Like just do little different things in my game that help them.
Yeah. And the players are coming up soon. Y'all the third seed right now. I know you guys trying to clinch, move up, so you got to get that home, playoff game. Tell me, just like, what is the team feeling right now? How's the energy? What's going on in the locker room that we don't know about?
Oh man, what's going on in the locker room? It's just all family. We all stand together. Ain't no breaks. And no bends, no breaks. We just stand together, making sure we finish this thing out on a high note. We put in all this work from training camp, just for us to get here. Last year it was like a little crazy type of show. Like, we was going through a lot of adversity, but I feel like this year is way better for us. We both more mature as a team, and like the chemistry there. So I feel like getting that win and clinching, we trying to get another win so we can clinch, and we'll be good.
Be that Crime Stopper, bro. I appreciate you. Be more.
Appreciate that, Julian. Akil Carr spending some time, as is Buddha, with some fans down there. And a lot of great things were said. Akil Carr, you could talk about the maturity level that he has as a player, but also as a person, and able to really speak to stuff that we don't see, at least on this court, what's happening in the locker room. And the team pretty much coming together at the right time, looking to clinch a playoff spot for the first time ever.
Like you said, Max, coming together at the right time. One of the biggest things I heard from Akil Carr was, be the hunters, not the hunted. And that says it all for me, man. Go out here, hunt, seek, destroy, and claim victory.
And in a way, the Rebels are the hunted right now, with people trying to come at them, nipping at their heels. They get the best test from pretty much every team in the league.
That's right.
And this is a prime example of that. A 1-12 team coming on the road from north of the border in Quebec, and given pretty much the Rebels a run for their money, able to really lock down, especially in that fourth quarter. And we have a big one coming up on Sunday. We'll both be back in the booth, as will Julian, Max Gertzel, and Nico Van, on the call with you Sunday afternoon. It'll be the Syracuse Stallions, the 4th seed in the Northeast, against the Reading Rebels, the 3 seed. And the Reading Rebels still looking for that home court advantage if they can get up to the 1 or 2 spot. So, hope everybody has a great weekend. Rest for the next 48 hours. And I tell you what, we'll see you back here on Sunday. For Nico Van, for Julian Winters, the whole BNB Media team, and the TBL TV. This is Max Gertzel saying so long from Alvernia University. Rebels 113, Alma 101.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first in 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Caron, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
First, I'm just going to tell you how this is going to work. We have 4 days of training camp. I want to see where you guys are at, what you've been doing for the past 3 months, okay? Some of you guys are back from last year. And last year, the culture here was terrible.
Be patient. Oh my God. Mental toughness is what we need, fellas.
Yeah, I show 'em that. All around 'em mad. Took the youngin' to Hollywood and it taught 'em how to.
This year, we're changing the culture. And there's 4 things I really want to focus on this year.
Ready for this lifestyle, ready for this lifestyle.
The first thing is just discipline, is being disciplined.
Ready for this lifestyle. Are you ready for this lifestyle? Yeah, yeah. Are you ready for this lifestyle?
Respecting each other. On this court, you respect each other. When you come here, you respect what's on your chest.
Are you ready for this lifestyle? Lifestyle, yeah, lifestyle, yeah, yeah. Are you ready for this lifestyle? Yeah, lifestyle, yeah.
We are going to be the hardest working team in our division. I guarantee that. I promise you that.
I wanna be best in every way. East to west in the day. Have my heart I always keep, but I leave the rest in the state. Right there left in the state. Yeah.
Mental toughness. Mental toughness. When things go wrong, are you going to be that guy that points a finger at your teammate? Are you going to be the guy that smacks him on the say, come on, pick your head up, let's go.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first. In 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
When we say we're building the future of addiction treatment, we mean more than just a groundbreaking 95.5% recovery rate. At Caron, we've been leading the treatment of addiction for nearly 70 years, with the expertise of nearly 100 medical staff creating personalized treatment plans, one for every single patient who walks through our door. It's how we've helped nearly 100,000 people reclaim their life from addiction. That's a future worth investing in. Caron, real about recovery.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
We put our members first.
Between kids, work, house, husband, I don't have time for anything, especially switching my checking account. But my old bank was not cutting it. So I switched to members first. In 3 quick, simple steps. And my personal concierge, it was painless.
Honey,
Unlike some things. Thank you, members
We
first.
put our members first.
Rich and Coach, if you may, opening statements. We'll open up the questions.
Great win for our team tonight. You know, we were tested. You know, that's a, you know, I don't care what their record is. 1-12 coming into this game. They've played teams really tough in our league. Okay, knocked off Albany at Albany, which is a really, really tough place to play. They got some really tough players, tough matchups for us. You know, we went down 10 in the second half, and I thought our guys just did a great job battling back, digging in, getting some stops. We limited them to 1 shot most of the second half. We struggled on the defensive glass in the first half, and that's what killed us. I don't have stats, but I know the second chance points were I mean, they had a ton. So, but that's a good win. You know, 1 more win and we clinch a playoff berth. So I'm happy.
For me, it just feels good to be back, baby.
So, gentlemen, 2 words, and I'll let you elaborate. Turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to tell him make sure those doors are closed because the ball was going to be in the parking lot. We were throwing it all over the gym tonight. And again, you know, that's not how we play. And the one thing that was frustrating, we were starting to get stops on defense and then going in transition, and then we turn it over. So that's a momentum killer right there. So we'll clean it up. You know, we'll clean up. We'll get ready for Sunday against Syracuse because we have another tough one coming in here on Sunday. So yeah.
Coach, what did you and the coaching staff see differently in that second half? First quarter, y'all were amazing. The second quarter, obviously, went downhill. What did your coaching staff talk about during halftime?
It was on the defensive end. I mean, we went through a spell where we didn't score there, but I knew we could score against them. I knew our guys one-on-one would be able to would be able to score. The thing I was frustrated with was our defense. We were giving up too many easy baskets, way too many second chance points, offensive rebounds, and we said if we clean that up, we're going to win this game. They jumped on us in the third quarter. We were down 10, and you know our guys never panicked. I got a tee in the third quarter. I was actually trying to get tossed because I was fired up, and I was hoping to fire these guys up. But you know what? They've been doing it all year. Again, when you're 13-3, you're going to get every team's best punch. They're going to try and knock you off. Okay, I know they're not playing for a playoff spot, but they play with pride and they're going to play hard. And talking to their coach before the game, I knew they weren't going to roll over for us.
Rich, for you, first of all, how you feeling?
I feel good. You know, I mean, it's a little timid sometimes, but like I got more confident in my ankle and like, you know, more movement. Like I was kind of timid on like if I do this, will it hurt? If I do that, will it hurt? And overthinking it. But like once I started playing and get more confident, I didn't even think about it. So I felt like my normal self out there. Definitely, you know, got to get back in that game rhythm. But I think I'm good though.
Yeah, definitely. Down the stretch there, you hit a big three in the corner, and then same spot, same result. Hit another one, same place, pretty much. So, you know, what's going through your head? It's a tight game. What are the emotions like for you making both of those shots and really kind of, you know, putting a staple in this game?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't even think of it as, I mean, it's a close game, but, I mean, it's just a normal shot for me. I shoot that every day. So, I mean, just getting that, you know, finally getting like an open look in the corner, just knock it down, straight rhythm, breathe through the whole shot. Same thing, like next play, just, you know, confident, and just, you know, stay locked in and make plays for the team when we need them.
Coach, for you real quick, you have Buddha and obviously Henry start together.
Yep.
What's it like for you going through the ball game? Obviously, mixing and matching matchups and whatnot. They're both kind of playing the center positions out there by themselves at times. You know, what's that for you? And are you playing matchups out there? Or are you just trying to give each one of them a breather?
Just it's a little bit of both. Matchups. We wanted to throw. I mean, their post player Fortin is tough. I mean, he is a tough post player. And we knew, you know, I knew he was going to play 48 minutes. He wasn't coming out, and that's typically he plays 48 minutes unless he's in foul trouble. So we were going to throw different guys at him to try and wear him down a little bit. I think he got a little tired in the second half, but I mean, he's one hell of a player, and But our guys did a nice job in the second half on him. But yeah, we just try to, and again, we look at matchups, and if our strength is always getting up the floor and running and pushing the ball. And if we get that smaller lineup with Buddha at the 5, that really works to our advantage.
Rich, this one's for you. First off, Akil Carr really stepped up and was a leader for you guys, specifically in the fourth quarter. But the real question is, talk to us about that chemistry between you and he, because I see you guys not yelling and screaming at each other, but when the play doesn't go the way you intended to, your face says it all. But I can tell that you guys are brothers and you have a genuine love for each other. Discuss that chemistry on the court and how you're able to maintain that.
I mean, I've met him, you know, a while back through ball his life. It was like maybe like 3 years ago. So like we've been playing each other for like a long time throughout the summer and some like, you know, all the games or whatever. So like we know like we got that feel of each other. Like we've been doing it for like multiple times, like since before this, even last year. We played last year, same. So like, I mean, he knows what to do. He knows I know what to do. And like when I mess up, he's like, hey, you know what's up? And same for him. When he mess up, I'm like, hey. So like it's a unspoken bond between us for real. So.
Yeah.
What are you looking at that matchup? What are you trying to see? Because they're right behind me.
They're tough right now. And when I just checked, at last check, they were beating AC. So, you know, when they're full strength, they're one of the best teams in our league. Jaquan Newton didn't play the last time we played them. Nobles, the point guard. They got Marquardt, who's shooting lights out from three. Broadway's been out a couple games, but when they're full strength, they're a top in the top four in this league definitely, and they could be one of the best teams in this league. So we have a tough matchup on Sunday, but we're going to enjoy this one tonight and then get ready for Sunday.
You guys, battle through tonight. It wasn't an easy win, obviously, but we talk about free throw shooting for you guys has been a struggle this year. I think it was, in my opinion, it's what got you back in this ball game.
Yeah.
Akil was living at the line. It's kind of what got him going in the second half. Can you talk about just the team's process? I mean, they get being aggressive. I mean, what's the message there?
Well, that's the thing. I said I didn't. We started to spread the floor a little bit because I didn't think they could guard us one-on-one. So when we started getting downhill, especially you put Akil in an ISO with some of the bigger guys, he's just it's tough to stop in. And all of our guys when they have a little bit of space and they can make a move and get downhill, I mean, they're tough to stop. And we were finishing at the rim. We were going hard, getting fouled, and like you said, making our foul shots, because I keep saying it to our coaches on the bench. It's going to come back to bite us one of these games when we're missing 10, 11, 12 foul shots. And so far it hasn't bitten us yet, but, so we just got to keep working on it.
Miles will be ready for Sunday?
I don't know. That's the same ankle that he hurt a few weeks ago. So we'll take it. We'll talk to the trainer tomorrow, but we're not going to push him. I want him to be 100% for the rest of the season. So
that's good.
Thank you.
Gentlemen.
Thanks, fellas.
Good luck.
Enjoy it.
Sure.
Enjoy it.
First, I'm just going to tell you how this is going to work. We have 4 days of training camp. I want to see where you guys are at, what you've been doing for the past 3 months, okay? Some of you guys are back from last year. And last year, the culture here was terrible.
Be patient. Oh my God. Mental toughness is what we need, fellas.
Yeah, I show 'em that all around them mad. Took the youngin' to Hollywood and it taught 'em how to.
This year, we're changing the culture. And there's 4 things I really want to focus on this year.
Ready for this lifestyle, ready for this lifestyle.
The first thing is just discipline, is being disciplined.
Are you ready for this lifestyle? Yeah. Are you ready for this lifestyle?
Respecting each other. On this court, you respect each other. When you come here, you respect what's on your chest.
Are you ready for this lifestyle? Are you ready for this lifestyle?
We are going to be the hardest working team in our division. I guarantee that. I promise you that. Mental toughness. Mental toughness. When things go wrong, are you going to be that guy that points a finger at your teammate? Are you going to be the guy that smacks him on the head and say, come on, pick your head up, let's go?